Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the final of the URC for 2026, and it is a rematch of last year's final, Leinster versus the Bulls. Now, last year this game wasn't very close, but we've seen some pretty close semi-finals for this year's URC, and hopefully this game at Croke Park be a lot closer than that last final. We do get to see this one go right down to the wire between these two teams. Looking through at the starting lineups, we will start, of course, with Leinster. They are going to be as follows. Jerry Kahir comes into the starting lineup. That is due to the injury of Andrew Porter. Ronan Kelleher in the number 2 jersey, with Tyke Furlong slotting in at 3. So he also makes his way back into the starting lineup. That is rather than Thomas Clarkson, Joe McCarthy and James Ryan in that locking duo, with Max Deegan, Josh van der Flair and Caelan Doris slotting in as the number 8. It is a strong 4-pack here for Leinster. It's going to be intriguing to see what that scrum battle looks like out there on the park. I feel like that's a part of the game where the Bulls have really been able to step into their own throughout the second half of the season. There's always going to be that physicality up front, and Leinster have to try and match it here. The pack that they've selected, Jameson Gibson Parky will be slotting in at 9, with Sam Prendergast as the number 10. A bit of danger there in terms of the speed that ball can get out the back line. It's always talked about that ruck speed of Leinster. Prendergast, he's unpredictable. He's very hard to read. I'm sure the Bulls will have a lot of fun in the Prendergast versus Andre Pollard battle. James Lowe for his final game for Leinster. He is out on the left wing. He is the most decorated try scorer of all time in a Leinster kit. Jamie Osborne in the midfield alongside the international Rieko Ioane. Tommy O'Brien out on the right wing for Leinster. If your last name's O'Brien, you've had a pretty solid season, whether that's Tommy or Jimmy. And then Hugo Keenan as the number 15. For the Bulls in their starting side, it is Harold Steenekamp, Johan Robelaar and Francois Klopper as the number 3. Ruan Vermaak and Ruan Nokia, the Ruans again, linking up together in the locking duo with Marcel Kutsia, Elric Lowe and Cameron Hanekom, who after returning from injury has been just as strong as he was prior to that injury too. Ambros Papier, he's an interesting one at the moment, and I don't know whereabouts he sits in terms of Rassi's radar. Of course, we have seen that first initial squad of the South Africans announced. We will get to see a bit more of an adjusted one later on in the weekend, and perhaps Papier can find himself in that environment once again. Andre Pollard, though, he will be there for the South Africans. He is a crucial factor in the way that they play. He didn't have the best kicking accuracy in the game just last matchup up against the Glasgow Warriors. It didn't cost them in that game. But Pollard will definitely be wanting the higher accuracy off the tee. For this matchup, Stravino Jacobs out on the left wing, Harold Foster and Kanan Moody as the middle, and then Kutli Arnsa alongside Willie LaRue as the number 15. But we have got a whole heap of people in the chat already. It is greatly appreciated you all being here. We have got a new channel member duty. It is greatly appreciated. Yet in that membership button, you have now got access to those exclusive emojis on the channel too. Come on, Amy. It says Lalio Logi, I believe that is. And we have got there nice and dapper with the collar and tie. Yeah, I almost forgot to put it on, to be honest. But then I remember we were here at a final, a big match. I'm trying to think. Did I have it on last year? I wonder whether or not maybe I would have been better off without it for the Bulls' sake. I will mention, so far throughout the URC, we have had all different winners. We have seen Leinster win. We have seen Munster be crowned URC champions, Glasgow Warriors, the Stormers. But we've never seen it be the Bulls. They have had a lot of runner-up opportunities. They have been in multiple finals. They have been on the wrong side of many finals, but this side looked determined, and after that win, like I mentioned, up against the Glasgow Warriors, where they weren't given too much of a shot, they're certainly hoping to take it to the next level. I am sure. Are you doing very well, Big Rick? Hopefully you are the same. I'm just there to see some scrums, mate. Says Boy 10. Yeah, and I do think that is definitely where we're going to see the Bulls try and assert some dominance early, put Leinster under pressure with that change of no Andrew Porter, bringing in Jerry Kahir. Now, some would actually say that that's a better option in the scrums for this for this Leinster side. Because Porter, he's normally a 50-50, he's going to give away a few penalties. He's also maybe going to win one or two himself. We have the New Zealand or Fijian players. We have got Rieko Ioane as the number 13 for Leinster in this contest. I believe he is the only New Zealander technically that features in this contest. We have got there, Go the Bulls says Rusland, and Go the Bulls says Kitty Bone there. And also super sad to see England playing so badly against France, says Big Rick. And good morning, a nice shirt, says Octodad. And there too, the chat is going very quickly at the moment. I will mention, ladies and gentlemen, we are sitting around 25 minutes away from the start of this contest. We started quite early for this one just because of the fact that there is so much to talk about for the URC. Plus, it is the last one of the season, so we wanted to make it a good one and enjoy the match as a whole. Also sad to see New Zealand drawing against Iran. Sad or good? I feel like that's not a bad thing in the end for the Kiwis. I know that they weren't given much of a shot heading into that one. So I'd say it was handy, but they do need to really get the win over Egypt or else they're going to be in trouble. We have got there, Evening Amish. I see a lot of viewers didn't agree with your New Zealand squad predictions. I think no matter what squad I had put out, in fact, I can tell you right now, had I put out the exact squad that Dave Rennie was going to select, people would still disagree. It's one of those ones that everyone's got their players that they like, which is exactly why I have 57 disclaimers during that video saying, hey, this is my opinion, not everyone's. But yeah, there's always going to be the ones who don't agree. But then that's kind of the cool thing about it, the fact that so many people will have the differences. But yeah, you're not going to please everyone. I feel like YouTube's taught us that many, many times. We have got there, hi all and Hamish. And we have got there, awesome is all spit out. Says Robert, and good evening from South Africa, Hamish. Long time no see. Thank you very much for podcasting this special event, says Dan. Yeah, the rematch of last year's URC final. It was at the same location, Croke Park, in front of about, I believe it was 47,000 in attendance for that game. It was 32 points to 7 in favour of Leinster. They had try scorers of Jack Conan, Geordie Barrett, Josh van der Flair, and Finton Gunn. The one try scorer for the Bulls was Aka van der Merwe. Of course, he is not playing in this game. Instead, they have got Marco van Staren as a replacement hooker, with Johan Robela getting the start. In this game, there is no Geordie Barrett, but there is still an All Black in this Leinster backline, and also no Finton Gunn in this contest either. And also, let's say it as well, Jack Conan coming off the bench rather than starting. He scored in the 6th minute of the last matchup between these two sides in the final. He's going to have to try and do the impact a little bit later on in the game. And see, we have got the thanks for the commentary. Cricket side had a good day against England. 3 hours until airport. Fly back to South Africa. Says Joss, we'll go low, big man. Yeah, there's some pretty good power off of the bench. We have got there, Hamish, no matter what you say, people will strongly disagree with you. I wonder if people don't understand when you say it's an opinion. Probably not. I think that there is a real lack of comprehension of reading that sometimes takes place at times. But, like, at the end of the day, people, like, again, I could have picked the perfect squad and people would have gone, nah, that's completely wrong. But I didn't get too much of lucky you're not the selector, which I was a bit disappointed about. Normally we get ripped into a little bit more. But it was more people were questioning one or two players rather than as a whole just kind of questioning my intelligence. So it was slightly disappointing compared to last year. Last year we got ripped into well and truly. But this year it's been pretty timid. We have there, Black Cats are looking great. Baz Ball is making Test cricket great again. Says Octodad. And Colour Sadie is bigger than Wilco Low. Says Albert. Sadly, Sadie is not playing in this game. Of course, he has to wait a little bit later on in the afternoon, but he's been tearing it up for Bordeaux. Also, I mean, having Big Ben Tame Thuna as the replacement's not exactly a bad one for the Bordeaux boys, but they aren't in the competition anymore. They did get knocked out earlier on. I know that there is a top 14 game that has taken place involving Toulouse in the very near future. That is happening at 7:05 a.m. up against Racing 92. We'll be able to keep a little bit of an eye on that game as well. Now, I did see a weather report for Croke Park, and there were a few concerning factors in terms of a little bit of rain around. Now, it doesn't seem like it's led to a massive amount, but of course there will be times where there's a little bit of rain or a little bit of slipperiness out there on the field. We have got the 147 watching, only 37 likes. Come on, press the like and subscribe. Says Joss there. Yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to be back later on in the weekend for more Super Rugby, for more internationals. The Barbarians going head-to-head with the Box, as well as South Africa A taking on Zimbabwe. Should be a pretty intriguing game. Watch out for the Bulls. Says Sam Marie there. What we will quickly do, we have also got there Mohadin. Hope you are doing very well. But we will show you the recent form of this Bulls side, and they have had quite a bit of a run heading towards this matchup. Now, that game up against the Glasgow Warriors, You look at it from an outside perspective, you look at the scoreboard, 22-21 must have been a close one, and it was close the whole way. That is just not the case at all. Glasgow came out absolutely firing in that game. The Bulls seemed out on their feet, even though it was the very early stages of the game, but they seemed to still have the heart. And in the second half, that is when they turned that game around. They got themselves back into the contest, even with a few missed kicks from Andre Pollard. They turned it into a 1-point victory, knocked out one of the favourites of the whole competition. But before then, they had beaten Munster in a comfortable win in South Africa. They had beaten Benetton and Zebre as well. But it is the away from home up against Leinster that is certainly the intriguing one. We'll look through at Leinster's form as well while we're at it. These are the same amount of games that Leinster have taken part in the same time as the Bulls have. Now, the Bulls, as you know, only had the 4 games there. Leinster have had an additional 2. There was the semi-final of the Champions Cup, in which they did win up against Toulon, 29 points to 25, and then also the final, where they were defeated by Bordeaux, 41 points to 19. Now, last year, when they got knocked out of the Champions Cup, they took their frustrations out on absolutely everyone, and they won the URC title. This year, they will be looking to do the exact same thing. But whether or not this Bulls side have a second half like they had up against Glasgow, or maybe, best case scenario is just get going early in the game at Croke Park. If they can find their rhythm and try and put that pressure on Leinster. We have seen Leinster blow leads before. We've seen them get big leads too. Going to be a good one. But they beat the Stormers 20 points to 11. That game didn't quite go the way that people expected, but in the end, Leinster were able to get control as the match wore on. So you could almost argue in this matchup, we've got 2 second-half teams. So the first half, that might actually be the one that decides this game because of the fact that both sides can be so strong when it comes to being able to finish a game. We have got there... we have got Rico Ioane, world class, says Deacon, and never rains in Ireland. Says a real pie man. I love the time, Mr. Kiwi Sir. Also, I found out the drop beers are not real. Aren't they? I swear they are. I don't think they're just a myth. They're probably called something else, though. Hi, all those watching where I am. My Bulls team are playing, so I watch them with friends and family. The handsome guy on the live is Hamish from Kiwi Lads. Says Hayno there. Yeah, we are actually co-broadcasting across the 2 channels. Hayno has helped us out quite a few times throughout the year, so I am helping him out for this match as well. Go the Bulls, says CSW. I've never forgiven Ackerman for the Stormers, says Neo. Are you doing Zimbabwe game? I am hoping to. As long as it all runs smoothly. Did anyone watch the French 15 versus England 15 game? Someone said that France went much better than the English did. We have got there. When is the game starting? My bruv fella dude mate says Tanner. So the game is starting in 17 minutes. So we are getting close. There will be a lot of nerves for these 2 fan bases as we get closer and closer to that kickoff. Where's your money, Hamish? Or is the broadcasting neutral? The thing is, right, the URC so far has had a different winner every year. So for that to continue, it would be nice to see the Bulls get the job done. But I also do think that Leinster at Croke Park last year in the final proved just how good they can be. The Bulls, some might argue that they had their big game last week or last match. Now, it is very tough to go twice in a row away from home in the URC. We have seen not many sides do it. So for the Bulls, this is really a massive opportunity to show everyone just how deep they can dig. Earlier on in the season, they were getting written off. A few rounds into the contest, they were on a massive losing streak, and everyone said, nah, the Bulls aren't even getting close. But here they are in the final up against the defending champs, trying to show exactly what they can do. Evening, mates. Here's Flesh, welcome in. We have their Super Rugby final. Will be about 60% better, thanks. Our crowd size for this final. Well, last year, the final was about 47,000 at Croke Park. Now, I know that there were quite a few sales, or quite a few tickets that were still available. But I'm hoping they can get 50,000. That would be ideal. Now, of course, with the fact that it's a rematch of last year's final, that may add a little bit more hype. Dang, the Bulls actually have a decent side, I can't lie, says LB. And third half will be the most important, says the real pie man. A big up, says Nems Talks. Oh, the chat is going at 1,000 miles an hour at the moment. I do apologise if I have missed any of the messages. We have got there what a lineup from both teams. I should watch this in the super final. Going to be some bangers. And Glasgow did it when they won the title Munster away. And then the Bulls away, it is possible, says Kahu. And yeah, they've been involved in a lot of finals, the Bulls. So I don't think the occasion will get to them, if that makes sense, because only about 365 or so days ago, the same players on the majority in terms of the Bulls lineup, they were at this ground. They were ready to take on the challenge of the Leinsterman in front of them. Hamish is wearing a Bulls t-shirt under his bottom shirt. He is just trying to be neutral, not showing his support in the final. Says Xander. Well, the thing is, I've got a blue tie on. And you could argue that that is, the colour of Leinster and the colour of the Bulls. So maybe there's a little bit of neutralness involved in there. But what I am going to show you, ladies and gentlemen, I spent a little bit of time going through and finding every single time that these two sides have played since the URC started. There we go. They have played a total of 8 times. Now, the most recent time was in October. That was a Bulls home game, and the Bulls were able to win it 39-31. The game prior to that was that final, 32-7 in favour of Leinster. The Bulls beating Leinster the year before, beating them in the semi-finals too. As you can see, Leinster, they have only lost once at home up against this Bulls side. That was in the semi-final back in 2022. A 1-point victory, the same margin that they were able to beat the Glasgow Warriors by in the semi-final just a couple weeks ago. We've seen a lot of close games between these two sides, split by 10 or less, but then every once in a while, and quite often, let's be honest, it is when Leinster are at home, that's when we see a one-sided affair. And we've also seen that little bit of a massive difference in the scoreline, 62-7. That game feels like it was only like last year, but it was actually back in 2023. That was before we knew that the Springboks were going to be back-to-back Rugby World Cup champions, with it only taking place in April of the calendar year. We have got there as tyres looking more Leinster. Says I am nutty. We have got there the Leinster might have the edge in the starting line, but maybe the Bulls have a stronger bench. And big up, mate. And Haino as well says, Manny, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Yeah, Haino, he is going to be joining at the end of this match. Now, he's either going to be a very happy man because his Bulls side would have potentially won this final, or he's going to tell us how much he hates the URC and that he's just given up on the Bulls. It's going to be one of those two, so be sure to stick around for that end little post-match interview that we're going to do with Haino. We have got there the historical chart is not a great stat for the Bulls. It's not really, but at the same time, they have beaten Leinster before at home, like for the Leinster home game. Now, they haven't beaten them at Croke Park, though. The only time that they played at Croke Park, I believe, was 32-7, I want to say. And do you think Chiefs will win? I think it's going to be a close game between them and the Hurricanes, and hopefully a bit of a back-and-forth type of matchup. We'll mention we are only around 10 minutes away from the start of this contest too, ladies and gentlemen. So anyone who is new, sure leave a like and subscribe. It's the Super Rugby final today, right? Yes, correct. Yep. So it is taking place in around 13 hours' time. And we're going to have a nice big build-up for that matchup as well, purely because of the fact that there's also the All Black selections coming up in the near future too. And how long till we start, says Joss? We've got about 11 minutes or so. So we're getting pretty close. The two sides won't be a mile away from making their way out onto the field. Croke Park, there was a little bit of rain forecast for earlier on. I haven't seen what's happening currently in terms of the weather. Hamish, what do you think of Stephen Gans? I think that at times he can be extremely dangerous. I think that he's one of those players who, like, when you look through it, this Bulls backline, he's pretty unlucky because it's always going to be hard to break in when you've got box all over the place. Kane and Moody at 13 has been, for me, a little bit on the 50-50 side. He has some really strong starts and then slightly disappears. Hans has been a pretty solid impact player off of the bench, so can always watch top 14 semi-final if this game stinks. Says I am nutty. And also we have got the Bulls just wrecked Glasgow and Scotland. Croke Park won't be daunting at all. Yeah. Although they will also still have the memories of last year, like I said, but you can sometimes use that as your motivation. If you're this Bulls side, the players will remember what happened and what they need to do to try and fix it. They do sit undefeated against up against Leinster this year. They were able to beat them, but that was, of course, in South Africa. So there's a lot that needs to go right for both of these sides. And I think that's what makes it so nice, is the fact that it's actually almost 50-50 in terms of the odds. Now, every statistic says that it shouldn't be. But that's the beauty of this URC competition. Anyone can beat anyone on their given day. We saw the perfect example of that with Connacht, the way that they started to finish the competition with some crucial wins at the best possible time to get them. Let's hope it's not Choke Park for Leinster. See, it's been there. And last year, the Bulls had so many injuries. But this year, Cameron, Eldrick, and Pollard is their big difference. See, there's Albert. I'm just really hoping to see both teams, Chiefs and the Hurricanes. Ain't no one arguing about no more Crusaders. See, there's Tanner too. Are you doing the Barbars game? Yep, we are going to be doing that one on the channel in South Africa. In South Africa to a Leinster B team, says the real Pie Man. So what makes this Leinster's B side, out of curiosity? Because I always find that if there's injuries, you can't really, in my opinion, you can't call it a B side if players, like if a player, let's say for instance, just didn't get selected who was stronger, then like maybe. But at the same time, I think that both of these sides are stacked from start to finish, and that is what's going to make this one such a hard-hitting affair. You've got the skill in the loose forward trios. Marcel Coetzee, Eldrick Lowe, Cameron Honeycomb on one side. You've got Deegan, Josh van der Flair, and Kalen Doris on the other. I got to meet TJ Perenara. He's captain of the Barbarians tomorrow. Such a cool guy, says Kevin. And thank you for everyone here in Plettenberg, South Africa, or Plettenberg Bay, in fact it is. And you make it possible for so many here to follow international rugby. You're doing a great job, and we've got plenty more coming up this weekend. We've got the Super Rugby final. We've got the South Africa A versus Zimbabwe game, and then also the Barbars going head-to-head with the Box for their first game of the year as well. And let's just send their B team to South Africa. Says the real Pie Man. Yeah, although the thing is, with the Six Nations, there's always going to be times where they have to go a little bit more experimental in terms of the lineups. But like, that's the type of result that could have cost Leinster their season, but in reality didn't. I think that Glasgow, they would have been disappointed with those games that they dropped away from home near the end of the season, because had they been able to get number one spot the whole way through, now, of course, no option of playing at Scotstoun, I think, also really hurt them. And big piece of trivia, Sam Prendergast's sister is Ireland's cricket vice-captain. Ola Prendergast's brother. She's playing today against New Zealand in the T20 World Cup. Oh, really? So, both siblings playing in big matches for today. Now, of course, Ireland cannot win a Cricket World Cup title just from the next few hours, but Sam could certainly put one in the trophy cabinet 2 years in a row. Would be quite the big achievement. This is literally the strongest team Leinster could field tonight. Says Jimbo, and Greens from Cape Town, says Disney Hughes. And also the Chiefs will break the finals curse tonight, says Octo Dad there as well. Well, the good news is they've got past the Crusaders already. They've ticked that one off. So they don't have to worry about that anymore. And now it's just about getting past the Canes. They had a dream last night that we win by 1 point, 27-28, and take a big lead, then almost choke, but we hold on. Okay, so you're thinking strong start from the Bulls. See, in my opinion, I think if they win this game, the Bulls, it will be from a comeback rather than a flying start. I think that Leinster, similar to what we saw last year, it only took them 6 minutes to score their first try up against the Bulls. That was for Jack Conan, who will be making his way off the bench, and who Miracle Fire playing for next season, perhaps the Chiefs. It hasn't really been confirmed as of yet, but I think there are a few New Zealand sides who would be quite keen on him. Same with Samisi Tupotaeloa. He's another one in that loose forward trio that may get picked up by one of the Kiwi teams. Leads the chances of winning are low. Haha, says I am nutty. And we have got there, maybe unsure. I like being an underdog, says Dan. And weird, isn't it? 4 finals in a row for the Bulls and the Chiefs, says Kahu. Yeah, I think that those two sides have been in very similar situations when you look at their, I guess, recent history. But the exciting thing is they can actually both turn it around this weekend. And, we talked about it earlier on about Haino, how he'll be fired up and excited if the Bulls get the job done. But his side are also the Chiefs in Super Rugby. So he's either going to have a really good weekend or a bit of a rough one. But hopefully it's a good one. Did you hear about Leinster's broken leg? No. Whose broken leg we talking? You're an assassin, Hamish, picking up the nerves, says Dan there. And also they did Kahu. They had no opportunities for resting players because of their slim lead. Do you think card tonight? Yeah. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have at least one card in this contest, and I just hope that it's not one that actually determines the game, because the referees have already received a huge amount of stick throughout the regular URC season as well as the playoff games. The last thing that you want is controversy in a final. Now, don't get me wrong. If the referee has a perfect game here, there will still be complaints about the refereeing. That's just the way that the URC sadly is. But I'd like to think that if we can get to the end of this contest and both sides can almost say, you know what, it's been all right, in terms of the decisions made. Papia will score in the first 12 minutes. Oh, you're going early try for the Bulls. That's the thing. And Bros Papia off the mark has been lightning quick throughout the season. He broke his leg in the number 7. What? Josh van der Fleer. So in that case, I'd assume that they'll make a change. That would then bring Conan into the starting lineup, but they are just showing the bracket at the moment. Oh, the Crusaders number 7. Oh, Lester Fainanuku. Yeah, he's out for 12 weeks. So, yeah, he's going to be missing for a little while for the Kiwis. Or it's at least 12 weeks anyway. You'd think it would be a little bit longer with a broken leg, but they are just showing there the kickoff has taken place in 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea Piatti, 4 finals in a row. No South African has won when he was being the referee, says Haino. And hey, Hamish, thanks for this from Cape Town, says Henry. No worries at all. But we will go through the starting lineups, ladies and gents, as they get close to starting this game. Jerry Kahir in the number 1 jersey. He comes into the starting lineup due to the injury of Andrew Porter. Ronan Kelleher at 2 and Tyke Furlong back in the side. He slots in as the number 3. Joe McCarthy alongside James Ryan in the locking duos. Max Deegan, Josh van der Fleer, and also it is Caelan Doris, the captain, slotting in as the number 8. Gibson Park and Prendergast in that 9-10 combination. Jamie Osborne and Rico Ioane. It's a duo that has worked quite well for Leinster at times. Osborne, a lot of people were confused when he wasn't getting starting minutes only a few weeks ago, but when he's in that starting team, can certainly bring an impact. In the back 3, it is James Lowe for his final game for Leinster. Tommy O'Brien out on the other wing, and Hugo Keenan at number 15. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Bulls, they will want to be powerful and strong in the scrums up front. Gerald Stennekamp, Johan Robelaar, and also Francois Klopper slots in as the number 3. Ruan Vermaak and Ruan Nokia in the locking duo, with then Marcel Kurtzia, Elric Lowe, and Cameron Hanekom slotting in as their number 8. And Bros Papia alongside Andre Pollard in that 9 and 10 combination. Those two men could completely change this game for the better for the Bulls. Trevino Jacobs out on the left wing. Harold Foster and Kanan Moody, they are in the midfield. Kurt Liarense and then Willie LaRue at number 15. So there is experience involved here. Kian Healy is going to be delivering the URC trophy. Yep. Onto the side of the pitch, we have got there the Bulls by 12. Says Jimbo. Afrikaans pronunciation is spot on. Nice one, mate. Says Manny, thank you very much. And as I said, a lot of current Irish internationals in that Leinster team should be strong. And I say, how did he break his leg? I hope the TV didn't show the bone going through the skin. No, he broke it in that game up against the Chiefs. And the thing is, you wouldn't have thought he had a broken leg because he tried to continue playing for a little bit longer. But yeah, unfortunately for him, it means that he is going to be missing. I know that quite a few people were keen on seeing him as that hybrid player for New Zealand in terms of being able to play in that 7 as well as in the back line. Looking slick there, Hamish Brew. Says Neil Bester. How's the crowd? It's not full, but at the end of the day, it's 82,000 capacity, so it was never going to be for this contest. I'd say they'll probably get a good 40 to 50,000. Hopefully they do show us the attendance at some point. Just seeing there, Zach Berger will be making his way off of the bench. I think that the Bulls certainly do have two handy men in the 9s. Hugo Keenan, he's having a tough day at the office there. He was in the changing shed trying to get his shirt on. It just wouldn't go down. Of course, these shirts nowadays are that tight that even if you breathe a little bit too heavy, you're probably ripping your stomach straight out of it. But do let me know your score predictions for this one. Expecting 37 to 40, 37 to 40. What is your prediction, says Rhino? I think the safe guess, and that's all it's going to be, is a pure guess in this scenario. I'd say the safe guess is that Leinster are going to get the job done. But the underdog and also the URC kind of storyline of a new champion each year means that the Bulls would be the ones to get the job done. And I also do think throughout that second half up against Glasgow looked the most convincing we have seen the Bulls look for quite some time. To be honest, trophy looks like a fancy bin, says I am nutty. Well, I can tell you right now, even if it does look like a fancy bin, both of these sides would like to take that fancy bin home with them. Selma Murat deserves to play in this final, says Xander. Well, you'd have to be in one of these two sides first, would help. We have you there. We need to start teaching Amy some key Afrikaans words. I've already been taught all the swear words because I've been called every single one of them. So I've got those ones up my sleeve. But yeah, in terms of other sentences and whatnot, I don't know too many. We have you there. The Bulls going to lose 4 finals in 5 years. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a little bit. The thing is, right, the way that it's worked out, it's actually very similar to Leinster's Champions Cup run in that regard. And awesome, great show, big fan, says Rhino. And there as well, but Andrea Piari, he will be the referee in charge of this one. Matteo Liparini is the TMO. Now, how much of a concern is it that you hear a TMO's name that you've never heard before? I assume that he's done some URC games. Never heard of the bloke, though, so that's not ideal. Who's winning, says Tyrone. The Leinster side should, but the Bulls have the power to get the job done if they get their set piece right. Kiwi, my man, always dressed sharp for us. Says it's Julian there. And we have got there, anyone swears at you, just hit back at them. A few Māori swear words, if you know them. No, I don't actually know many Māori swear words. I know a couple sentences in Māori, but not the swear words. We never got to that stage in terms of at school. Because I think the Māori teacher got fired for hitting a child or something, so we didn't actually get to learn it. We have anyone predicting Jan Hendrik Vessels, referring to another hashtag bull grab if the Bulls are behind. I think that this is not the game for it, because at the end of the day, you've got a lot of eyes on you for this contest. When is it starting? It should be starting in the very near future. They are probably, I'd say, about a minute behind when they were wanting to get going, but they are just having the moment silent for an ex-player who has passed away. Defense is imperative for the Bulls. Yeah, both of these sides need to do extremely well defensively, because they always talk about it, how defense wins championships. Of course, you can score all the tries in the world. We have got there, who is your stylist? Spotted tie and spotted tie. I assume it's supposed to be spotted shirt and spotted tie. The combo deserves a Māori swear word, says Mark. I decided to go with it. Because normally when I have the polka dots alongside it, people get angry at it too, so you can't really win, can you? We have their high all, says Joe, welcome in. They have just done the last little team huddle for both of these sides. Teach you some Welsh swear words so nobody is offended. Says Pleasure and High, says August, welcome in. Sam Prendergast, ready to go. This URC final, he was here last year. He kicked some important ones over, but at the same time, they still won by 25 points. But we are underway at Croke Park. Sam Prendergast kicking off from left to right. And we get underway for the URC final of the 2025-26 season. The Bulls have got the ball in hand. Being told to use it inside of their 22. You look a true gentleman. And a bad player is a pronounced meaning a hole, says Henri. Nice take there from the Bulls, who have got themselves the possession after retaining the box kick of Mbros Papier. Why are we getting spammed? Pretty much all that tells you is this is a big match, because you get all the bots on the big games. And obviously this one is one that the bots have realised that they've got no money and that they have to try and scam a few people. We have it there. The tyres back, says Joe Man. It certainly is. Nice take there from Hugo Keenan at the back for Leinster. Big driving tackle from Cameron Honeycomb. Is an absolutely crucial part of this side for today. Kalen Doris looking for the steal. Well, no, in fact, it was Marcel Kutsia trying to get the steal off Kalen Doris. Nice backline movement here. James Lowe looking for the offload to O'Brien. Now Prendergast moves it on to Ioane. Had a big game just last week. Looking for the steal, and the breakdown was Kane and Moody. We got the new member in Pindu. Thank you very much. You have now got access to those emojis moving up inside of the Bulls half. Now Jameson gives him Park. Skip pass. Uh-oh. There's going to be a yellow card for Kane and Moody here. And such a shame to have a moment like that early on. One hand extended out. I don't see a way that they don't give this as a yellow card. But it's just not a smart play from Moody. I mentioned how he has those big moments, but then can also be a little bit quiet. But this one was blatant from Moody at the worst possible time, and I think he knows it too. Silly boy. Says all in the game. We have you there. The Bulls playing in the classic blue kit or some odd colour. So they've gone with the white kit mainly, and then the bit of blue trim. Now, the benefit that they might have is the fact that Villy LaRue is back on the 22. But he didn't actually try to catch it, Kane and Moody, which I think hurts him quite a bit. And he does received the yellow card. So just like that, the Bulls are down to 14 in the early stages. We have got there, where are your mods? Heavy Spam today says, I'm nutty. I'm slowly getting through them. We have got there, Billy T. James in the old days. Kiwi comedian used to talk about a fake Samoan player. I never knew much about anything, says Mark. And why don't you read my messages? If it makes you feel better, I've missed a few others, not just yours, Mohaddin. What a bunch of, and almost passed it to him. And Moody, what are you doing? Says, hey, no. He's putting a side under pressure. That's what he's doing. And now Leinster have got the attacking chance. Stupid yellow card to give away. Yeah. And the worst thing is, like they said, he was almost there, Moody, that had he actually put his other hand up as well, he probably would have caught it. And he would have had a decent chance. Give me more power. That is not a good idea. Moody stole the ball there, ref did nothing, and now Moody made a mistake. Already under big pressure. Yellow card says Ben, nicely retained by Leinster at the line. Now here comes James Lowe, short ball to Jamie Osborne. 10 metres out from the line. Marcel Kurtzia wasn't quite able to get the steal. Caelan Doris pots it back. Prendergast moves it on now, close to the line for Max Deegan. But the ball's under pressure right from the get-go. Gibson Park passes away to the left-hand side. Going to keep this precision going early. Leinster offload from Ioane to McCarthy. They lose about 5 metres, Leinster. Moody is like Caleb Clark, average at club level. But a beast at test level, says Peanut. Oh, Gibson Park. Cross to the right again. We are currently 2.5 minutes through in this contest. Why all the spamming? It is because it's a big game. So pretty much what happens is the spammers normally go on holiday for the rest of the year, but as soon as you get into international and like big matches, they all of a sudden come back. But yeah, just don't like type in what they've got and you'll be completely fine. Ronan Keller, big driving tackle there from the Bulls defence. Ruan Nokia told to leave that one alone by Piari. Going away to the left-hand side. They're not really moving forward at the moment, Leinster. They're being strategic in the way that they are attacking, not going for anything too risky here. As Amish says, Terence, welcome in. Now Gibson Park back across to Caelan Doris. They're still in a good position on the field. Now, Kelleher thought about popping it in behind, and it might get the Bulls stolen. Is he on his feet? Yes, he is. And the Bulls manage to get themselves the penalty. It was Cameron Honeycomb. Does it very nicely. Have you ever thought about applying for a commentating job? Not really, no. Because I always say about the thing that makes these fun to do is the fact that we've got the interaction in the chat, whereas just doing the commentary purely as commentary, you don't get that. And oh, yes, says Hano. And also not taking advantage of the extra man. Hey, damn right, Clark, okay, and super. As a form centre at international level. And nice one, Honeycomb says the great. Yeah, massive steal. Oops. 1 second, we go like that. We'll go like that as well. Now, line out throw here for Johan Robillard, but they will be very frustrated with what's happened there, and they'll be more frustrated with this. Caelan Doris injured. Looks like some sort of ankle injury. And Sarah says, you're a legend, mate. Nobody does what you do. Says Terence there. Yeah, 4 minutes in to lose your captain at this stage of the contest would be a massive blow for Leinster. They're really kind of busting his toes up at the moment. Trying to get the footwork in again. It seems like... Okay, Doris has just been told there by Piatti that you can hop off the field and we'll continue with the game. So that would then mean that Leinster for now will be defending with only the 14 men. He's got a bad limp at the moment, Doris. He does not look happy one bit. ABS commentary around always said that, says Kevin. And while the Bulls have a yellow card already, they did a deliberate knockdown from Kanan Moody. Reached out and just, almost could have caught it had he stuck his second hand up, I think was the worst thing about it. Pretoria going to be a plant. Oh, nice take there. And the line out right. Doris is back on his feet. He's still limping along the way. But you'd hope that he can recover, or else they will have to make that early change of Conan going onto the field. Bit of a rolling maul here for the Bulls. Breaking off the back, Johan Robillard. Sitting about 45 metres from the line here. I think you're spot on there, Hamish. I like the interaction aspect while doing some commentary on YouTube. I did some work for Hano with the last Rugby World Cup and enjoyed it. You're killing it. Says Manny. But yeah, there's something so different about the fact that, like, live you can talk to people from all around the world as well. All that ball slapped back. Johan Rubela trying to jump onto it, but Hugo Keenan had it for a second. He knocks the ball on, and we might almost get to see the first scrum of this game, although actually, no, the Bulls managed to take that ball back cleanly, so now they get to try out their backline. Harold Foster wrestled down. Doris is still a one-footed player at this stage. He tried to get into the breakdown, tested it out. The advantage is over from Piatti. That was a very quick one. Leinster picked the ball up. That's a little bit controversial right from the get-go. O'Brien will score the try. Knock-on advantage disappeared in an instant. I'd love to hear where the advantage was called here. The tie wearing, you will surely get you a commentary job, Hamish, says Henry, but it is the first try for O'Brien. Right, so we see it here. Drop ball from from the Bulls. That's when I thought maybe they would have gone advantage over. Because they lost meters, the Bulls, in that scenario. But Leinster, I mean, they will take it well and truly. Tommy O'Brien, I mentioned before the game, how if your last name's O'Brien, you're scoring tries for fun this season. And he's done it again here. And sus. Yeah, it was over very quick, right? It wasn't just me. He was looking at that one, wondering how they ended up losing knock-on advantage when losing meters. That one's gone over from Sam Prendergast, and that is going to make the score now 7-0. Fun fact, they actually scored in the same minute in the last year. What about advantage for knock-on? Very good question. And just one of the South African sides, says Kryzen. And also we over there, Ty's looking fresh, mate. What have I missed so far? Yellow card for Kane and Moody. Doris's day is done. Conan's made his way on to replace the Leinster skipper. And Tommy O'Brien just scored a half-field try. So quite a bit throughout the first 7 minutes, to be fair. That kick has not found touch. Always under pressure as a rule, says Jimbo. Yeah, they hadn't really got a backline going at all, had they? In that scenario. And also, Leinster scored first in the Champions Cup as well. We know how that went. Says I am lady. They also scored first in, well, to be fair, they've scored first in quite a few of their games. La Rochelle's another example from a few years ago. I always love bringing up that game, not specifically against Leinster, but more so, penalty goes the way of the Bulls. That is for obstruction for a man chasing through to try and take the catch. Who scored the try? It was Tommy O'Brien in the end. The Bulls have momentum, but they have to bounce back quickly. And this is now a big decision for the Bulls. They're within the 22 of Leinster, and we straight away see the mindset. They have kicked this one for the corner here, rather than going for the 3 points. Now, we know that Andre Pollard was not the most accurate man. Yeah, Rico Ioane there just casually strolling through into the way. Trevino Jacobs was never going to get away with that one, Ioane, but they still tried anyway, most of these guys, as they run back. But 10 metres out from the line, Johan Robela. Still a one-man less Bulls side and trying to get the rolling ball going. Leinster defend it nicely. Cameron Honeycomb, he's quick off the mark. Now pick and go. On the side of the breakdown for Eldrick Lowe. I'm popping it back across to the right-hand side. I see 70% delusional Bulls fans on the poll tonight, says Cameron. The thing is, though, right, we've seen games where a side has been a 90% against them and they've gone on to win. So you just never know, really. The Bulls, they were down by 3 tries last week or the week prior. They came back to win the game up against Glasgow, a game that they were given no chance in. Now, Papier back across to the left-hand side, but this will be a brilliant time to be able to score if you are the Bulls. Ross Papier again going to the short side to Rowan Vermaak. The Bulls still there, Papier. Across to the right-hand side, Johan Robela. And Rico needs an HIA. And a penalty, one there for Leinster. It's Tommy O'Brien again. Not only has he scored the try down one end, he's managed to save a try down the other. As a Sharks fan, I can't believe I'm saying this. But please, Bulls, you guys need to do this just for yourselves. You know you can do this, says Unholy Monk. And also we have there no offside. Oh, we're great. We've got Johan back again. We have there Honeycomb will be man of the match. 12-point Bulls win, says Jimbo. What do you think of the Bulls flying back to South Africa and then back to Europe for one game? And then back to South Africa all within 15 days madness, says Asulian. It's tricky. And it is one of those ones that it can be pretty fatiguing for the players. But, yeah, I think there's still that extra motivation there for the Bulls, though. And if anything, it just gets them in that mindset of, right, our back's up against the wall. We've got to go out. We've got to do something big here. Nice take there from Joe McCarthy in the line out, 40 metres out from the line. Sam Prendergast going back across. Now Josh Van der Flair can't quite get his offload away. Gibson Park moves it on to the left-hand side. Ioane trying to find a gap that just pretty much disappeared as soon as he tried to run it. Now another short ball. Van der Flair. The early news of the fact that Doris has gone off the field with the injury. Nice sell of the dummy from Osborne as he's tackled on the halfway line. Numbers here on the left-hand side for Leinster. Almost looked like a full pass. Now O'Brien flicks it on the inside to Deegan. Two-man tackle on him. Gibson Park back across to the left-hand side, and there's the knock-on from Kelleher. And now we'll get to see the first scrum of the day. This is somewhere that the Bulls feel like they have got the advantage. And we're about to see if they do. The Bulls can get a spanking here. Leinster seem to be angry and hungry, says Barry. Also, ruins the game. Yellow card for an attempted intercept. Seems with a flat defence. Is on a lot more, says Travelling Jack. Well, the worst part of it, again, is the fact that had Moody reached out with two hands rather than one, he probably would have actually been able to reach it. Yeah, so, it's cost his side a try, you could argue, but he's got about 20 seconds remaining. Uh-oh. Conan's got to cut down the cheek here. He's the replacement for Caelan Doris. They may need a replacement for the replacement here. Leinster might run out of players to make their way off the bench. We have there underestimated Leinster. What the Bulls have, I would highly doubt it. It's very hard to underestimate a side that you faced 365 days ago at this location and lost by 25. They will be well and truly respecting this Leinster team. But I think that this is where their scrum, if they can get a really good solid scrum going here, win an early penalty advantage, it's going to even this game right out. Who scored? Tommy O'Brien was the man who got it. Did you watch some top 14? Not really. Not really, unfortunately. I don't get a massive amount of opportunity to, just because they changed how to watch it here in New Zealand. It used to be on Sky, but now you have to buy a separate subscription again. And good job, mate. Really enjoying commentary. Bulls to win by 7. 7's possible. You're still only 12 minutes in. Who scored the opening try? Tommy O'Brien. The man who got there one. Are you doing the Barbarians bot game tomorrow? We certainly are, alongside South Africa A versus Zimbabwe. Got another scrum reset here. But it would do a world of good for Leinster's confidence in their 4-pack if they were to stop this from the scrum becoming a penalty. Jerica here into the side rather than Porter, who was out of this contest and injured. Clarkson, he is making his way off the bench rather than starting as Furlong returns. I'm actually watching the cricket on mute and listening to your commentary. So here's Manny. There's quite a bit of cricket on at the moment, isn't there? There's England versus New Zealand. Although that's finished now, right? It's the Women's T20 World Cup that you'll be watching, I would think. But the ball goes in. Scrum goes down in the front. Piatti says to use it. So no scrum advantage early on. And this matchup anymore. Where who Rennie is selecting? None at all. I don't think anyone really is fully aware. Some have said that he may even be selecting the guys that were going overseas, which of course opens up the door even more. Bros Papier is going to go with the box kick now, 25 metres out from his own line. They are still playing with the 14 on the field, but as soon as there is a stoppage, Moody will be able to come back, slapped back by the Bulls, but it does go straight into the hands of Kelleher. Now off to O'Brien, looking to send this one away to the left-hand side. That was a weird kick from Sam Prendergast, and actually a really poor one too, as he pretty much just gifted the ball straight back to the Bulls to be able to clear their lines. I'm watching the football muted, listening to you. Says Fleshin, now kick downfield. And it goes out. Was from inside of the 22 though, so a great kick downfield from James Lowe. Yeah, Prendergast seemed to panic a little bit there. They had numbers on the side. They decided against using them, but Moody is back. He will want to prove himself here. Philly LaRue showing a bit of that experience, going over to Moody, trying to just have a bit of a conversation, calm him down. Sam Prendergast's sister in action. You have to let us know how she goes. Whether or not she has a good day at the office. You have to love South African support. The whole world has Leinster to win, but all the South Africans like me have the Bulls by 69%. says Paul there. Well, I think it's come down to the stage now with how many finals the Bulls have been in. It seems like it's only a matter of time, if that makes sense. Same with like the Chiefs in their game up against the Hurricanes. It just seems like it's due for the victory. That one's going to go towards the sideline. Just watching it go into touch. It came off Ravino Jacobs, and Jamison Gibson Park decides to use this one quickly. Space on the outside, but a nice inside ball to Hugo Keenan first. Spins out of the challenge. Breaks the line to Hugo Keenan. That is beautifully done. He's just outpaced Curtly Ardenser. Ball on the outside to Ioane. Cuts back in round Ardenser, who's had a hard time trying to stop Leinster, and the All Blacks scores. Enrico Ioane down the wing, the brilliance of Gibson Park. He saw the opportunity to fire it out wide, and it was instant with how quickly they were able to counter-attack. Hugo Keenan was running like a house. I was not running like a house. I was going to say like a man on fire. And you certainly would be running, to be fair, if you were. But he found the gap and just pierced through. It was the inside ball from Sam Prendergast, and Keenan just skimmed Curtly Ardenser, he beat him for pace, and then Ioane got around Ardenser as well, who was just scrambling. Unfortunately, missed a couple tackles in a row and didn't end up hurting them. Great try, says Dan, and Leinster constructively collapsing the scrum. Expect them to do that all night, says Paul. Absolutely rubbish from the Bulls. Kick chase era. Repeat, unimaginable nonsense. And fantastic try, says Cameron there, but the score now sits 12-0 in favour of Leinster. Just like last year, pathetic, says Hano. All I'm going to say, though, is you gave up on them in the Glasgow game, and they came back and won the whole thing. So it's still early. Rugby's an 80-minute game. I'm sure it's a stressful time, though. However, their Bulls need to up their game, says Dirk. Hugo Keenan with that ball on the outside to Ioane, who just had to try and stay in the field of play, which he was able to do, and also just slid over. I think that's due to a little bit of moisture from earlier on in the day. Keenan still got it. He absolutely does. He was very handy off the mark there. Now, this one is done. This one is not done at all. Last week, or the week prior, we saw the Glasgow Warriors. They were leading, 21-0 up against the Bulls, or 21-3, I think the scoreline was. And they came back and won. So it's not over yet. We have got there. Rico got revenge on Kirtley, says Peanut. Any cards yet? Yeah, we saw Kanan Moody got one earlier on for a deliberate knockdown. No, I say earlier on. We're only 17 minutes in. It was actually in the first minute of the game. Joe McCarthy gets the steal and the breakdown for Leinster. Josh van der Flair is going to be held up briefly by Elric Lowe, but they make a few post-contact meters in there as well. Now back across to the left-hand side. Prendergast looping around the outside. This is dangerous. Ardenser caught off the wing again. Hugo Keenan sells the dummy. He should have gone to Lowe earlier, but he saves it a bit longer. Close to the sideline, looking for the offload. It's come off LaRue, and it's in touch on the far side. I think that Keenan may have blown that try there. It was the chance to try and get something going, and he just needed to do the draw and pass, but he waited half a second too long. And that then stopped the opportunity of getting one more. Has Rico done enough to be included in Dave Rennie's squad? I think it depends on what Rennie's looking at, to be honest. My selection of my July squad, I actually didn't pick Ioane, purely because this has been a bit of a brutal season of the URC. So I was leaving him out, and then you potentially put him back in for the Springbok tour. They've ruled it as off James Lowe there, but another break. Sorry, I'm really late to the party. It hasn't been a good match so far. It's been fast-paced. 18 minutes through this contest, but it just seems like it's starting to open up a little bit more here. Leinster have started to find their rhythm in terms of their back line. Oh, ball almost stolen there at line out. And Bros Papier. You put under pressure at every turn here at the moment, the Bulls. You guys stuff it up big time. Northern Hemisphere Rugby skill. I mean, I don't think you can say Northern Hemisphere Rugby skill for that one, because he's just scored or helped set up a try like 2 minutes earlier. But it was just the delay. He thought about going on the outside, but I think he was worried that Billy LaRue was going to have an opportunity interception. Another line break there for Hugo Keenan, breaking through 2 tackles. Now moving away to the left-hand side. Leinster on fire in the early stages of this game at Croke Park, but the turnover there for the Bulls. Bros Papier off blows to Honeycomb. Now moving it on. Klopper goes to, it was a nice bit of handling. because it almost was dropped by Coetzee. A massive space in behind here for the Bulls. It becomes a foot race, and that is brilliantly done by Sam Prendergast. Put his body on the line for his side, and that saved what could have been a certain try for the Bulls down the other end. That is the type of moment there. They talk about Prendergast's pace sometimes, but that was probably the most pace we've seen him show in a long time. One's going to be put into touch. We have got there as well. Well, this is painful, says for the love of YouTube. Yeah, Grobbelaar initially getting the crucial steal who scored a try. So far, we've seen Tommy O'Brien and Rieko Ioane. So two Leinster backs. That's for Vino Jacobs. Smart kick in behind. And we just see it there. I don't think Moody tried to chase that one at full speed, which is quite an interesting one, because he's, like, in regards of speed for speed, you'd back him in a foot race over Sravino Jacobs every day of the week. But, yeah, I don't know. He seemed like he was almost hoping that Sravino would get there first and then just get the little pop pass up, maybe. We have there, Leinster cheating refs' fault. The usual comment says Dirk. And Moody would have scored, says Jimbo. And Ioane hit that ruck like a champ too, says Studs Race. Currently, we are already a quarter of the way through this contest. Looks like Ronan Kelleher's just getting a little bit of a tension on his neck at the moment. We'll, of course, be hoping to avoid another injury this early on in the contest. We have there, Leinster love to cheat, but it doesn't help them in World Cups for Ireland. Go to the box, says Justin. Says Justice. And we have got there, Leinster are evil, says Cool Story. And Kiwi who's winning the Super Rugby final don't hold back. I think that the Canes will be hard to beat, but I also do think that the Chiefs are due for it because they've had so many close calls throughout the last little while. That one's going to be slapped away and stolen at line-out time by Leinster. James Ryan goes across to Josh van der Flair and now kick downfield from Prendergast. Again, doesn't quite get the kick that he would have been after. Sravino Jacobs runs it back to the halfway line. Has to bump off one, but Conan hangs on to the ankle. Sitting around the halfway line. 12 points down is no unfamiliar feat here for the Bulls. We saw in their game up against Glasgow, like I said, they were down by 18. Low goes up for it, bounces awkwardly sideways and into touch. The Bulls will have themselves the line out from just inside of Leinster's half. We have got there, we got the tries for Leinster, Tommy O'Brien and also Rieko Ioane as the two try scorers. But Nokia did have that ball initially in the line-out, but then it was taken away by this Leinster side. And Moody doing his best to throw a Springbok call up away, says Paul. And calm down the Bulls, says Daniel. They just need to bring back a little bit of structure here. Oh, and their line-out stolen again, though, does not help one bit. Grobbelaar having that one go right over the top. And I think the first half says dime till death. Yeah, second 40 is actually when the Bulls have been more dangerous. Line break here for Conan. Can't leg up. Now tries the offload. Gibson Park kicks it in behind. He will be in a foot race with Billy LaRue, who cleans it up, takes it back, and it will be a 5-metre scrum here for Leinster. Yes, it is. 5-metre scrum. Billy LaRue can't believe the call. He feels like he didn't take that one back. It's raining there. Says Albert. Is it? I know that they had earlier on that there was like a 30% chance that it was going to be raining during this one. We see it there. The line-out replay just went over the top of everybody. James Ryan just getting half a tip on it. And the end crowd is kind of shameful. Pro D2, second league, as France does better. Says it's Julian. Although it's a stadium that holds 82,000 as well, so I feel like we've got to be a bit more realistic in regards to that. Last year, I think they had about 47,000, somewhere around there. The replay does show that Billy LaRue did take that one back. He just wasn't willing to risk it for that little bit longer, but it puts Leinster in a very good attacking position once more. Russie wants Moody at 13. Ozzy is part of the blame. Moody was always a winger, says Ben. And now scrum feed, 5 metres out from the line now for Leinster. We're just piling on the pressure at the moment. That ball goes in, big scrum by the Bulls, but the ball does come out the back for Leinster. O'Brien tackle 5 metres out. Gives him Park looking to the right-hand side across to Jerry Kahir. He will be 1 metre short. Now Leinster Looks like Gibson Park is actually going to join that breakdown, leave the ball for Furlong to have a pick and go himself. The Bulls were defending well just out from their line earlier on. Conan gets within a metre. He scored in the last final between these two sides. Joe McCarthy, he's dropped the ball. Has it gone forward or backwards? Referee rules it as backwards. And now 1 metre short again for James Ryan. Gibson Park looking away to his left, trying to use his big forwards. Tyke Furlong, the defence from the Bulls. It is not breaking as of yet, and they're still trying to stop it. Honeycomb turns him over and stops Killer from scoring. It will be the goal line dropout. Now we have got their ball sponsored by Burger King. Must be the vegan option. Says, I am nutty, and I think Ioane should coach the Bulls after the final. Is that good in his lowest of level comp? Says Sock. And Rico should replace Tony Brown, teach the South Africans. G. Well, we're going to see the replay here. The Kelleher was just ended up getting held up by Cameron Honeycomb, who's had a couple very crucial moments already in this game. He had a turnover earlier on. It looks like now a bit of an injury to Jerry Kahir. Try incoming, says Cameron. They've survived, though. They've stopped that try, which seemed like it was almost going to be certain for Leinster, but the Bulls, they still have that fight in them. That's the thing. I mentioned about it last week at times as well for their game up, the week prior up against the Glasgow Warriors. There are times that some Bulls supporters had given up on their side throughout that game, but the Bulls never gave up throughout that 80 minutes, and they were able to turn it around. They've still got time to turn it around here, but they can't afford to concede again, or else they will have a really big mountain to climb throughout the second 40. We have to get that shot to play. This is the final. Yeah, although sometimes a final, the pressure of it can really make you do silly things. That one's high from Prendergast. Great take from Hugo Keenan. Moody didn't even go up for the ball. It's quite an interesting one watching body language in a game of rugby every once in a while. Moody looks like he'd rather be anywhere but playing this final. Now pick and go from Joe McCarthy. But they're going up for the high ball. Keenan won it easily because Moody didn't even get off the ground. Now back across to the right-hand side. Deegan, 5 metres out from the line. And Leinster, they will not want to make the same mistake twice. O'Brien goes across. Prendergast to Keenan. It was almost a Villy the Roo mistake at the back. It's probably going to be ruled as a deliberate knockdown as well. And take Moody off. The thing is, if you've got Stedman Hans off the bench, do you do it early on? You can't risk him getting another yellow card. Plus, he just, I don't know. He just seems like he's in cruise control, but cruising in first gear. Now, Prendergast, he gets shut down, throws the ball out backwards. They'll go back there for the penalty, and they are now going to be checking this one again. Thinking too much? Maybe. There'll be a lot of thoughts going through the back lines here, and as well as the forwards. We have got there, it's amazing how many games, how many home game finals Leinster get. Well, that's what happens when you sit top of the table. That's one of the big, I guess, you could say incentives. If you're at the top of the table, you get the... Right, they're going to be checking this one now. It is going to be the penalty first anyway. Villy LaRue. Unfortunately, this one's going to be similar to Moody's, how he got one hand to it, but didn't end up in a realistic catching position, sadly. Now, see, I would actually argue in that scenario, because the ball's still gone to the guy out wide, which normally it doesn't with a deliberate knockdown. Normally with a deliberate knockdown, you see the ball hit the ground. Now, has it stopped a certain try-scoring opportunity? I don't think so, but... yeah, they're going to give him a yellow card, though, for Villy LaRue, so he is going to be off as well. And Villy saved a try. Yeah, although I do think that Arinsa and Papia were going to get across, which is why this is just a yellow card and not a yellow card with a penalty try involved. But it is currently some of the Springboks who are actually struggling the most here for the Bulls. Their reaction there is a devastating reaction, says Dan. We have then another try incoming, says Cameron. Yeah, this is going to be tough to defend now. Definitely with the way that the line-out has been functioning for the Bulls. They have to somehow find a line-out steal here. Off the thrower, Ronan Kelleher. Try coming in with a yellow, says I am nutty. Okay, they've got 7 men in this line out, so they're going to look for a really big rolling maul, I would say. Who scored so far? We've seen Tommy O'Brien and also Rico Ioane. And yeah, this is painful. Yes, for the love of YouTube, they have decided against the rolling maul. It's actually a double bluff there. Jamie Osborne, 2 metres short. Ioane waiting for this one out on the wing at the moment, but they're just going to use the forwards for now. Josh van der Flair, he might get held up by Cameron Hanekheim, who's been doing very well. Be able to defend just out from his goal line. And now, ball is still there, phase after phase. This is going to be wearing on the gas tank of the Bulls, who are in desperation mode, but they can't stop the next wave of momentum. And it's Jack Conan in back-to-back finals has got himself the try. And I like for the Bulls runaway competition boring. See, it's called Story. Can I say something? They wanted to be at the Springboks game, says Mohaddin. And wherever they like the shoot and tie, mate, says just me. And how's it, says G-Man's in there, welcome in. Yeah, we thought we better wear the shirt and tie for the final. I think I wore it last year. Maybe I should have avoided wearing it because it seems like a repeat of what we saw last year as well. Currently, Bulls overthinking everything and being caught out. The best plays, or the best teams play instinctively. Play what's in front of you. The ABs were at their best when they played that way, says Paul. And we over there. Let's go, Conan. Quick question for you, Hamish. How many of the Bulls team I would start for South Africa in the important test match? I reckon 7 of the Leinster starters would start for Ireland, says Barry Power. I would say I'd say 5 would probably start in the box from the starting lineup for the Bulls. Somewhere around there. Maybe you could argue 6. Philly Larue is off the field for a bit longer. The score now 19 points to 0. Why my screen is not showing any pictures, says Mapindu. I assume that's because you got the channel membership, right? So the membership is not for the coverage. It is just for the channel. So if you want to refund that, I don't mind one bit. But yeah, that gives you access to the emojis and the exclusive stuff on the channel rather than the actual broadcast showing, mainly because that would be illegal and I would get sued. Now Sam Prendergast going for the kick in behind, looking for the 50-22. This one does go out and Leinster now get the line out again. Prendergast charging over to think about going quickly. And Toulouse versus Racing has started. Absolutely bad from the Bulls, says Kryzen. Hamish Tyres curse for the Bulls. Get the hoodie, Hamish, says Joe Man. Prendergast, he just had all the space in the world to be able to work with. It's probably good that ball went out too, because I think Ioane was winning that foot race. But Sam Prendergast is having a game and a half at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. He's stepping up well and truly. And it all goes down to also that moment that he had defending. You know, when that was an open breakaway for the Bulls and somehow managed to get there. Oh, okay. They're just getting told to change the positioning of the line out. Great kick. Was that 3-on-1? Yeah. There were a few guys there. I think that Ioane could have won the foot race. And probably even Prendergast too. Now James Lowe short ball to Jamie Osborne. Looking for the steal there was Johan Robala, but there's a knock on. I think it may have actually come off the knee of Gibson Park, but it will still be the scrum feed for the Bulls. Prendergast is a bit of a demon with the 50-22. And we over there 57-0 incoming, says Galoff. And it was really depressing for South African fans. Yeah, although I'm still not writing the Bulls completely off here, purely because of what happened in their last game. I know that a lot of people are starting to, but you just never know. At the end of the day, there is still a chance that if they can score a try before halftime, keep Leinster from scoring again. Okay, I think that Piatti's just admitted that he got that one wrong. He did apologise to Leinster, saying that because Gibson Park said it just came off his knee. Referee said, just like you guys, I can get it wrong. So it will still be the Bulls' ball, which is quite good because he easily could have gone, okay, no, we've looked at it and we can reverse it back to your penalty or your scrum, but no, it's going to stay on the side of the Bulls. And now an early push from the Bulls at scrum time, which leads to the free kick to Leinster. Now James Lowe, 15 metres from the try line. Now Jamie Osborne. And South African fans always blame the ref. Oh, another penalty. This one could be an easy 3 points straight out in front. Or do you go for the jugular? While you're leading like this, you shouldn't have won the tie, mate. For the love of Southern Rugby, take it off. Says Paul Roy. I'm trying to remember that stream last year, whether or not I did have it on. Right. Okay, they're taking on the post. So this will give them a 3-try lead, 3 converted try lead. It wasn't an accidental offside. Kicked it back into his player on the ground. Says Studs race. And also congratulations, Piatti as Bulls number for 5 years now. Says Ben. 31 minutes through. This game's going very quickly at the moment. There has been no lack of action that has taken place. Does kick that one over, Prendergast. What do you see out of a Kiwi perspective? The Bulls are not doing what they should here, says Xander. They just seem a little bit flustered. I have to say, there's been a few moments where they haven't really played the way that we've seen them play. I like the tie, very professional. I just wonder if you have a meeting or job interview later today. Says Manny. Oh, later on today, we've got the Super Rugby final, which I think I'll also be having the shirt and tie on for that one. If you can't adapt to the refs, that's on you as players, says Zach Ray. And now 22-0 after the 32 minutes. Still another 3 minutes remaining of Villy LaRue. Gibson Park back to Prendergast. He's gone for his torpedo kick. Has put it in a touch around the halfway line. The ref had no choice on both occasions, says Lalilogi. Tell you what, I can't say that today, can I? We have you there. I'm trying to find highlights from that one Ireland semi-final in the World Cup. Can't find it. Can anyone tell me what year it was? Says float like the bee. It's many things I could say, but I will not. We have their Bulls played out of their skin in the semi-final, getting outgunned here. Says starts race. Well, they played out of their skin second half. First half, they were bang average up against the Glasgow Warriors. But then the second 40 is when they found their rhythm, which again is another reason why I don't think we can completely discredit them out of this game as of yet. That one not straight from Johan Robela, though. That does hurt. And when your lineout's under pressure, of course, you just want to find a way of winning it. There we go there, Racing versus Toulouse. Looks more interesting at this point, says I am nutty in those polls. These polls of Southern Hemisphere pundits pages are wild. They're all smoking crack. Says Zip. How's Rico doing? He's had a very solid game so far. Scored the try earlier on. Looks like a few raindrops just now falling. Just 6.5 minutes remaining of this first half. If they can score again here, Leinster, be absolutely huge for them. Gibson Park passes across to Osborne, Deegan. And it's quite interesting, though, because comparing it to Glasgow Warriors' game, Glasgow Warriors did very much so just shifting it out the back line. They weren't able to make a huge amount of meters with their forwards, whereas Leinster are at the moment. Oh, that's a knock-on from Jamie Osborne and then knocked on by the Bulls, so should be their scrum. Yes, it is. We have got those rugby fans say hemisphere more than geography class. And also we have got there, Hamish, what can you tell me to make me feel better? They had a better second half last game, the Bulls. So again, it's not over. And we have got there, just in case someone out there has never watched these teams before, this is not over. Leinster know how to choke and the Bulls can definitely turn the engines on in the second half, says Justin. And if it starts raining, it will make the Bulls come back more than twice as hard, says Paul. 30 seconds remaining of Villy LaRue's period off the field. We have seen a try scored. In fact, every time that they have been down a man, they have conceded at this point in time, the Bulls. Ireland playing a World Cup semi-final in Gaelic football. Says I'm till death. I think Amish says Dan. Now Ambroise Papier. Oh, bit of an early push from both sides there at scrum time. It looks like it's going to stay solid though. And a big push this time for the Bulls. Going nowhere is the call there at scrum time. I don't necessarily think that's correct, but a big run down the wing from Stravino Jacobs as Gibson Park tries to wrestle him into touch. Loose bouncing ball picked up by Nokia. Pollard going back across to the right-hand side. Now another advantage that is going to be for off feet there from Leinster in the breakdown. Papier going off to Stennekamp. And the Bulls know how to choke as well. 3 finals, 3 losses, says Cameron, and they will go back for the penalty now. And come on, the Bulls bring it to the Cape. And guys, there's no defending this Bulls team. They didn't show up, says Kreisen. Right, what do you do here if you're the Bulls? I think once again they will look towards the corner, and that is what Pollard will be doing. Use the ball while Leinster scrum goes back all the way, says Ben. Yeah, that one was quite an interesting call because, yeah, he said it wasn't going anywhere, but it was quite quickly. We have you there, fans calling for the coach and ref to be replaced, says Xander. It's looking pretty dark and dingy in the background, though, I have to say. So it could actually bucket down in the second half. Now the Bulls, they have got their first attack and chance inside of the opposition 22 for quite some time. They've got plenty of danger men across this side. Eldrick Lowe being one of them. Going to get those meters going forward. Kanan Moody, low tackle knock on from Moody as well. His head is anywhere but this game, ladies and gents, and it is costing his side. They need to get Stedman Hans out there. I think that sometimes you just have to admit that a player's having an off day. And yeah, it's just weird. A player who has Springbok experience, a man who has World Cup experience and big matches, just, I don't know, he seems asleep out there on the field. How many South African teams have won the URC? 1. At this point in time, it was the inaugural season. The Stormers were able to beat the Bulls in that final. And we have got there as a URC so uncompetitive compared to the top 14. Not really, no. I'd say that the semi-finals were probably a good example of the competitiveness, as well as some of those scores across the top 8. Like, of course, there's always going to be the occasional one-sided game. That happens in the top 14 as well. But that's the kind of the beauty of rugby. Sometimes the side just does better. I think we need to replace a rugby ball with an alarm, so no more complaints about the ref. The ball zaps you and blasts an alarm if you infringe. Off day, I call it offside. Yeah, he still dropped the ball, didn't he? Whether a player was offside or not, he still put it down. Kanan Moody, and not his first mistake in this contest, unfortunately. He made multiple. Watch Bulls players having a shocker. Sorry, came in late. Kanan Moody has had one of the worst games I've seen him play. And we're only 37 minutes in. And Drew, UBB lost 50-0 in a final. Yeah, so it can happen. We have the offside. You call it off day. Get real, says Johan. Well, he still dropped the ball, though. Like, that's the point we're getting across. I know that you hate referees, Johan, and you complain about them every single game and every single decision, actually, as well. But you've said that you don't want to become a referee. So, like, maybe just leave it to the professionals in this scenario. But, yeah, Moody, a man who normally is able to catch a ball for fun, hasn't been able to today. The event system is going. It's been found out. It looks like the Bulls have no offside centre. Says Francois, the Bulls are dropping the ball. Says Duhan, but they have now got the position here, sitting around the halfway line. Being told to use it again. Moody needs to be sub. I agree. I think that at this stage, you just have to accept the fact that, again, he's not having his best day. And Stedman Hans. But then the biggest problem they've got is they've only got one back replacement. So they've actually kind of shot themselves in the foot by going with the 6-2 split. The ball back onto the side of Furlong, who somehow ended up with it after the aerial challenge. Now told to use it here. Jameson gives him Park. No way back for the Bulls from here. And maybe Moody should go to the left wing. Says Asanda. Oh, nice take from Roanoke. Yeah, it's an injury to his ankle and his knee. Hopefully he's going to be all right. He is one of those players who will be a key for the Box throughout this season. It looks like maybe actually Tommy O'Brien has picked up the injury at the same time here. And Dan Sheehan is going to run right when he comes on. Says Dean and Lions of the Sharks made the final but never won them. See, that's pretty late from O'Brien and the tackle that he's made. He's hurt himself in the process. And I was seeing Hamish is enjoying the Bulls imploding, says John Dickey. Now, well, I want it to be closer. I think that it's going to be second half, once again, similar to the Glasgow game. I think they're going to come back into this a little bit. And I think I'm just holding out for the anticipation of the way that the tides kind of turn in terms of people's like opinions of this game, if that makes sense. Like, no game is over until the final whistle. We've seen it time and time again. Scotland versus Argentina. Sorry to the Argentines for bringing it up, but that game can all change in an instant. Dan Sheehan is going to be wheeled out in his wheelchair straight to the old people's home he lives in. And we have got there, luckily, Lorenzo Julius now has an opportunity. He'll be breathing down his neck. Says Galov. And locker room is going to be tough. Yeah, although they experienced it last week as well, or the week prior. Last game for the matchup against Glasgow. Whatever was said there worked. Ruanoki, is he injured? He looks all right. It seems like he has recovered from it. So, yeah, hopefully he'll be all right. Looks like O'Brien's actually going to try and continue in this game too. Move Cameron to 13. At least the defence will be improved. Which looks like you're gaining more popularity. Says, I think it's just because of the fact that we are up to finals of the URC and Super Rugby. We are going to be here for the Super Rugby final, taking place in around 12 hours' time, ladies and gents. And we have there, Kanamudi should have been taken off a long time ago. Shocker of a game. Yeah, it's been far from his best. But I think because they've gone with the 6-2 split, they've kind of, again, they've shot themselves in the foot, because if they make that change and then there's an injury, you've only got Zach Berger to cover. But then the benefit you've got there is Ambros Papia can play on the wing. So I think they'll have to have a big chat to Moody at halftime and say, either we need you to really step up your game and start looking like you want to be out there. Oh, knock on from Prendergast. On for a cross kick and boots it straight into touch. It is going to be the scrum here. Glasgow will be kicking themselves. Yeah, they'll be disappointed that they couldn't get the job done. 21-5 down at halftime versus Glasgow. There's Jimbo, and yeah, they went on to win that game. What a disappointment. Leinster was always the big favourite. I thought the Bulls would at least have shown some fight and passion. But they even flatter than last year. Now, you've been enjoying the World Cup so far. I've actually only watched one game of it, if I'm being honest. One of the Bulls coaches looks a lot like a slimmer James Slipper. I'm not actually too sure which coach it is. It's the one sitting next to Johan Eckermann on the far side for anyone who was watching the coverage. But yeah, he looks like James Slipper, but just slimmer and a little bit younger. Maybe actually a little bit older. And we have there, I'm glad I'm not in Guru's chat. Nearly 3,000 watching a match in the L. Says Eric. And can we see Moody play lock again like he did in primary school? He was very tall and strong in the legs. Says Ander. I mean, Russie might do something. He's had Cheslin Colby play as halfback, hasn't he? Which, to be fair, isn't that weird, because he's quite quick and snappy off the mark. Billy LaRue back out there on the field. Offload there, Papier. They have got the scrum advantage in their favour too here. Looks like the ball is out for Kurt Liarens, and they'll go back for the penalty. Maybe I never understand why the South African clubs are so average and the international team is so good. Says Barry, and Hamish says Zion, welcome in, and a slimmer slipper, I like it. And he's back in the Aussie squad at Joe Schmidt's request. Yeah, that man seems like he's going to keep on playing till he's like 40. And he's still playing very well too, is the impressive part. Right, Tommy O'Brien can't continue, which means that Leinster are also going to make another change. They have already lost Doris earlier on in this one. And come on, Bulls, you got to get something here. See Studs race. Now line out this time, successful for the Bulls, and they've got the advantage. They've knocked it on, so we'll go back for the penalty once again. And an Abo's key in the downfall of the Bulls. Says Ruben Africa, and the ref should have entered the game now. The ref is on Bulls' side, giving them one more chance. And now kicking into touch for Pollard. Uh-oh. Pollard's just kicked that ball dead. Trying to get as close to the line as possible. Kicks it straight into the dead ball area. And that's going to be the end of this half, ladies and gentlemen. 22-0 in favour of Leinster at Croke Park. This is why Ireland will never win the World Cup. They have proper non-corrupt refs at the World Cup, says Jon van Vuren. Do they? I feel like a lot of people complained about the refs last World Cup as a whole. Look at that. Wow, says Kryzen, and that's rough, says Studs Race. Yeah, that's the type of one that goes from the potential of being 22-7 down at halftime to back to 22-0. I think it's fair to say that today's athletes are so much stronger and fitter than back in the day. Back then, earning 100 caps was so rare. That was a cause for celebration, and careers were shorter. Says Manny. We over there, you getting a bit offended when I am asking about Kane Williamson's retirement. I hadn't even seen it, if I'm being honest, Jaden. And a neighbour has been unfair. And 14-3 in favour of Toulouse after 15 minutes. Now we see players becoming centurions on a regular basis. And they're playing longer, looking after themselves very well. And actually couldn't have gone worse, says John. I did say 22-28 win for us, so it's still on. Can still happen theoretically. And we have it there. They can just end the game. Says Kamai. And also all the Bok fans wrote off Leinster once again, says Dazza. Yeah, although still 40 minutes. We've got to wait for the early stages of the second half, ladies and gents. How long till halftime? It's halftime. How long till halftime ends? Probably about 12 minutes or so, I would say, somewhere around there. There's also a lot more international rugby being played than back in the day. More matches equals more centuries. Yeah, because back in the old school days, you know. Sorry, I was trying to work out if it was raining here. My brain stopped working for a second because I was like, is it bucketing down? But no. And luckily at Croke Park, it's not bucketing down either. But yeah, it used to be hard to get to even 50 caps. I'm going to bet Hamish to try and sleep with a broken heart. I'll leave a like. What channel you on? So for us here in New Zealand, it's on URC TV. Although I do see that Sky have the Barbarians game. And also alongside that, sadly, they don't have South Africa A Zimbabwe. That's on Super Sport. I did just come back from the office work, says Jaden. Not quite. It's currently 7:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. We have there. I'm a Bot fan. What are you talking about? The Bulls are playing the Ireland team. Bulls is just a regional team, says NTN MMA. And also, why are they all talking about the neighbour? You'd swear he was on the pitch, says Frank. I was about to be really mean, and I was about to say, even with him not being on the pitch, he's still done the same amount as Caden Moody throughout that first half. But that would be hitting a man while he's down. But I do think they need to take Moody off. I think if you can get Stedman Hans out there, give him 40 minutes to work, and because just from the very get-go, ever since that yellow card of Moody, it's almost as if he's, I don't know, it's almost like he's sulking that he got yellow carded and just doesn't care anymore, which is it's a terrible thing to have for a player. It's an even worse thing to have in a final. You know, Moody looks like he's being forced to play rugby here, which I guess in a way, contractually, he probably is. But, he looks like he would rather be anywhere but out there on the field. And in a final, you need everyone to be really switched on. You need them focused. You need them determined. Someone like a Cameron Honeycomb. We've seen what he's been doing so far throughout this game. He looks locked in and ready to go. I think that we've also seen at times, I would say, Stravino Jacobs. You know, a man who does take a lot of stick in terms of being a little bit slower than some of the other players. But I think that he's played better than Aronsa and Moody throughout this game just at this point in time. Cannon is certainly very moody right now. Hashtag see what I did there. There's Manny. And we have got there. I'm glad the New Zealand Black Caps gifted another international tail ender, a half century today. Tom Latham. Man, what a bad player. He reminds me of the Sharks. Just no spine and the most needed. And also, we have got the South African here. I'm definitely not arrogant. I don't think the 27 will be a walk in the park, though. Says flip like a beat. And change his position. You could look at, chucking him out on the wing instead. But then, who do you chuck him out on the wing for? because you're in the scenario how I think Jacobs has done enough to be out there on the field probably for the full 80, really. So the only player you replace him with is you take Kurt Liarenser off, and then in that case, you might as well just straight swap Stedman Khans for Kane and Moody. Bulls fans dressing Bulls as just a little regional team. Give me a Breakbot fan, says Dazza. And also 21-3. So that one's going just as one-sided as this game. In fact, could be even worse by halftime too. Prendergast playing against White Ferns too. Just hit 2 4s. And sorry, buddy. Says Patrick. And also, do you also enjoy cricket, Hamish? I'd love to have a chat with you on your thoughts about the Black Caps and the White Ferns. Says Matty, I am a cricket lover as well. Black Caps, I'm glad that this test match up against England seems like it's going to be going longer than the first one. Although, to be fair, the first one went 4 days, but that was only because it rained for 2 of them. That Lord's pitch was just not ideal. And terrible Will's performance here is JG. And he's like Matthew Sinclair. But a double ton and now live member. And also, how much time has Leinster now wasted on going down for injury, says Mike Bester. It's not a massive number, I wouldn't say. And the good news is most of the guys who were down with injuries have been subbed off. So, you know, you look at someone like a Caelan Doris. Referee did speed him along and said, look, if you're going to stay down, you've got to go off the field. And for that bit of time, Leinster were playing with 14. He was replaced by Jack Conan, who then went on and scored yet again another try in the final. Then on the other side of the equation, we saw Gary Ringrose near the end of the half. He made his way onto the field to replace, I believe it was, Tommy O'Brien. But like both sides have suffered their injuries already. We saw Nokia down for a bit. We've seen Jerry Kahir was getting a bit of attention to the neck. An amazing mate, says Manny. And we have their Bulls as the South African national team, says Dazza. We have there how the Bulls bounce back. I think they need to start fast. And at this stage, they almost are in a scenario where you've got nothing to lose by taking some risks. And I'm not talking about doing like a stupid little chip in behind and, you know, hoping for a 50-50 ball to go your way. I think you've got to be attacking minded with the ball in hand. We have to complain about time wasting down 22 at the half is crazy, says Jeff. And also, who scored the tries for Leinster so far? We have seen the tries from Jack Conan, Rico Ioane, and Tommy O'Brien. I think someone has to have a look at Pollard's bank account after this game, says WLK. Average ref says El Jamar. He's been, I would say he hasn't been at his best, but I also think that the Bulls as a whole have not been at their best either. We have got to at least put on some show for the fans, says Chris. Yeah, they need to show a bit of heart here, the Bulls. Similar to what we saw in their game up against Glasgow. So, like, you know, if they can do that, like, yeah, it should be good. We have got there, they seem to be in favour of refs making mistakes, then players should have same courtesy. Says Johan, okay, leave Kane and Moody out there for the full 80 minutes. Don't worry me, but they definitely won't win if he is out there for the full time. We have got there, it's like Ireland really against the Springboks, says Patrick. And we have there Mandy Healing as your biggest South African, as your biggest fan from South Africa. So yeah, it is greatly appreciated you being here at halftime. These two sides are just about to get back underway by the looks of it, or maybe probably another 4 or 5 minutes in there too. If the Box win tomorrow, you have to play me on Rugby 25. I don't even know if I've still got Rugby 25 installed. I don't know if I've even played that game throughout the last 6 months or so. So you should beat me, to be fair. We have there, James Lowe will do well in Japan. People are shorter there. Says, I am nutty. And we have got there, it'll be great if they can at least put up a fight, but I cannot see them turn this one around. This is Leinster, not Glasgow. Says Ben there. Rico looking good on that wing. Well, that's the thing. Like, some New Zealand supporters or some New Zealand fans, they don't have Rico Ioane in their side. Not because of like the amount of rugby that he's played for Leinster, but more so because they feel like he's kind of had his chance, done his dash. But I mean, based off this performance, you were talking about form, and Renier said he's picking off form. I think that this puts him right in the category. We have the Rugby 25, Rugby 08, still the best rugby game out there. The Bulls haven't turned up yet, says Pat Andy. I just followed you on Instagram. Says, Manny, greatly appreciate. One day we will post something. I just haven't worked it out yet. Savage Hamish says, big rig. And other balls have been BS. Oh, sorry, DS in that case. Dog. And about Leinster going down for everything is hilarious. Says Mike Bester. And we have got there. I'll tell you what, the chat's going very quick at half time. That is for I think I missed about 15 messages in a row. Oh, yeah, their best game out there. It's like being the nicest person in prison. Says Big Rig. Is it always this toxic in the chat? No. Normally when they're winning, it's very different, I will say. But it's the emotion of a final. You know, there's always going to be those moments that people get on the edge of the seat for and they yell at the TV for as well. But I think that a lot of the anger that is being shown is more so down to the frustration of the side getting this far and then just not performing on the biggest opportunity when they've been in the final time and time again and haven't got the job done. The Bulls will win if they show here. If there's no offside lines for Leinster, nothing will do, says Johan. And poor Haino says, Big Rig, the thing is, he's going to be coming on at the end of the game. So, for his sake, I hope that they can get a bit closer. We have got there, they can't take the L. Says Real Pie Man and Green Sandwich says Mountains of Asylum. Welcome in. I hope you are doing extremely well. They need to take Villy off and move Kirtley back. Bring on Hans, says Jason. Also, you're leaving Kane and Moody on. So you're putting Moody to the wing, Hans midfield, Arnsa 15, right? That's your reshuffle. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some new players on the pitch at the start, says Kreisen. Yeah, that's where, like I said, the 6-2 split almost, I would say, has backfired in a way for the Bulls because they've put all their eggs in the basket of using their big physical forwards throughout this 80 minutes and relying on the one change of Stedman Hans at some point, and then also Zach Berger. Now, Ambros Papia can also play on the wing. Now, if you could guarantee you weren't going to have any injuries, you could actually do a little bit of both. And you could go Zach Berger to halfback, Ambros Papia out to the wing, Stedman Hans into the midfield. And then maybe you stick Arnsa to fullback or something like that. That way you get rid of your guys who have the yellow card. After I do you have the Barbars line up for tomorrow? Where did I see? I know Perenata's in there. I know that there are a few other Kiwis across the lineup. Miracle Faialangi is in there too. 1 second, I'll try and find it for you. But it was announced the other day. And we have there, Mandy is trying to lose weight while I'm watching you, says Johnny. So what is she doing to lose weight? Is she like walking around frantically, pacing back and forth because of the stress of this game? Is Moody a natural wing? Normally I would say yes, but then there was also that one earlier on that he just didn't jump up for a high ball. And as we all know, current day wingers need to be able to take that ball a lot of the time when it comes to an up and under. We have there watching you while at the gym. Nice. Looks like a little bit of drizzle here. Right. These Bulls guys, they need to have quite the workout in the second 40 minutes if they want to get back into the game. And make sure to like and subscribe, guys. How much to go? Says Haino there. Leo Cullen making his way back up to his coaching box. Oh, yeah, it is raining now. So this could add a little bit of an extra factor in the second half. And Moody is Moody, just being Moody. Says Albert. Jack Conan will make his way leading the side out onto the field. The early injury of Kalen Doris seemed like it could have been a bit of a hit to them, but they have been able to bounce back. And if anything, Conan has just picked up from where he left off in the last final that took place 12 months ago. And if it starts raining, it will be a near impossible to score 22 points in 40 minutes, says Paul, unless they change their tactics. And I do think that we're going to see Leinster go for a lot more kicks because of that wetness and the slipperiness of the ball. But I also think that the counter-attacking chance for the Bulls should still be relatively open, although we're seeing some great cover defence from Leinster here too. But 40 minutes to decide the URC. 22-0. Leinster looking to go back-to-back. The Bulls looking to win their first ever URC title after being close many times. And Moody wins the kickoff, but it's picked up then by Josh van der Fleer. Just didn't have the player in support there. But a much better start to the half for Moody already. Sam Prendergast kicks that one up high. Rico Ioane charging forward. Slaps it back to Harold Foster running down the wing. It's going to be picked up by Jacobs and he gets tackled. I think there was a knock on in there as well, but it seems like everything is just going to be play on now. Kick downfield from Jamie Osborne. Now we have it there. This is Leinster, which put a curse on the Bulls. Says Diamond. Now that one slapped back by Gibson Park. Picked up though by Ruan Vermaak. Offload from Moody out to Marcel Kurtzia. Moving it on nicely. The Bulls almost up to the 22. And again, seems like second half mentality is completely switched compared to the first. That is going to be on the side of Leinster though after the loose ball is picked up by the home side. 41 minutes through. Leinster, they are firmly in control. They have got more than a 3 converted try lead. We have this Everton fan still talking up past World Cup glory like it matters now. Says Zep. Well, it kind of does still though, because at the end of the day, they are the current champions. It's like how Leinster, if they win this game, they will be the current URC. That's a beautiful cross kick there. Strafino Jacobs runs straight at Prendergast. He gets a round of applause from the crowd for muscling up and putting the body on the line again. Now, big knock on from Ruan Nokia. They had the momentum moving forward. Moody's still on, he is. But he actually did do quite well in the early stages of the half. He's touched the ball twice and he's had 2 good moments. But just dropped there from Ruan Nokia. How the brother, how you mate? Not looking good for the Bulls. I'm going Bulls by 1. Says Birdie, so you're going with the late comeback in this contest. We're doing very well, Birdie. Hopefully you are doing well also, but almost running too fast into that one. Ruan Nokia just ended up a little bit too far behind him. And the Bulls need to score first. Vans has to shut, says Chris. And the peach of a cross kick, says Jimbo. Oh, this looks like an injury here for Hugo Keenan's kneecap. Oh, he's in pain here. That didn't look too good for Hugo Keenan. One of the medics squeezed his knee and he pretty much winced and got up as quickly as he could. We'll see whether or not he can still win a high ball though. Touched the ball twice. Had good moments. Okay, interesting, says Xander. But yeah, he won the kickoff for his side. Unfortunately, after deflecting it back to the Bulls, they lost it because I think it was Josh van der Fleer got through and managed to grab it. And then the other one was getting the ball out to the right-hand side when they almost got their line break. With a scrum feed now for Leinster. They are 25 metres from this try line, or their own try line, that is. Where can I watch the game for free? Sadly, there aren't a huge amount of free options. Or actually, no, that might be a lie. I think it's on RTE in Ireland, I want to say. The kick downfield from Gibson Park. Just looking to gain some territory here. What's the Leinster split on the bench, bud? So they have gone with the 5-3 in this case, whereas the Bulls have gone with the 6-2. We've seen a couple injuries already, though. So we've seen Ringrose out there. They've still got McGrath and they've still got Harry Byrne as their other 2 replacements. And Prem Sports, says Jimbo. Now Johan Krobela. Throwing it into the back. Nice take from Ruan Nokia. Even that line out didn't seem certain. Rather than taking it above his head, Nokia, he actually took it around the kind of the stomach region. Oh, partially charged down. Kick from Papier on McCarthy. Now ball goes back onto the side of the Bulls off the slap back from Moody again. Arnsa has McCarthy all over him and almost rips his shirt off. Maybe there, Hamish, where's Ruth? Actually at the stadium, says Joe. Not that I know of. I assume she's probably working, I would say. Ambrose Papier, another knock on. This time from Ruan Vermaak. Now on the counter-attack, Sam Prendergast. It's the type of mistake that you just can't afford to have. James Lowe knocks it backwards. Hugo Keenan ducking under Moody's challenge. Now Gibson Park. Cross to the right-hand side again. Strangely struggling on the line-outs of the Bulls. How's Pollard playing? He hasn't lit the world on fire yet. Oh, up and under. This is a different tactic here from Leinster. But again, the ball is taken by Gary Ringrose. Now 3 metres out from the line. Not many sides would attempt a box kick or a kick like that from 25 metres out from the opposition line and be able to retain it. But Leinster currently, a lot of things are working for them. That's a huge shot on Josh van der Flair by Ruan Nokia. Joe McCarthy. Rush defence on him by Ruan Nokia and Hanekom. Back across to the right-hand side. Ball is still there for Leinster as they ask for the penalty for the player not rolling away. They don't receive it. 45 minutes through this contest. I hope Bulls make a comeback just so I can laugh at RTE. Says Sock there. But still 5 metres from the line. The Bulls, their goal line defence has actually been very good today. And most of the tries that we have seen from Leinster have come from more open play. In this type of position, they've just been solid. But they need a turnover or something, or else you're just pretty much flirting with danger and hoping that you can turn a man over and make it become a held-up situation. But now another pick and go, this time from Tyg Furlong. Being told to use it again here. Leinster happy to just keep on going through the motions of phases. Cameron Hanekom offside. He's going to be penalised there. Though the Leinster player did have his hands on the ball. Looks like Hanekom may have tweaked his knee too. Offload there from Prendergast. Again, just short. Reaches out. He may have scored that try, Sam Prendergast, but he's taken a kick in the head for his troubles. And he looks like he's in a bit of discomfort here too, but it has been awarded as a try. We have got there, Leinster happy, just milking a penalty. Says Studs race. Okay. They're going to be checking this one to see if he has got another one for his Leinster side. They aren't sure if there's a grounding. There was certainly a reach out at the line from Sam Prendergast. We're going to see the replay from the other angle. So Jamie Osborne got close. Tell you what, I think he might have got there, Sam Prendergast. We're going to see the replay now. Yep, he gets the grounding. That is a great finish. He took a shot from Nokia in the process, but he has scored it, and that makes it now 27-0 in favour of Leinster. Nothing has changed from last year. South African teams cannot win Champions Cup or URC titles, and Leinster are still champs on the URC level, says Ben. Now Prendergast has the opportunity to be able to convert his own try. Last year, Leinster won this matchup at the same location, up against the same opposition, 32-7. Currently, they are only 5 points away from reaching that total. If this kick goes over, they're only 3 short of it. But Prendergast, he has had a game and a half. And that number 10 jersey and that kick has gone over too, making the score 29 points to 0. Hey, we made the final, says Cool Story. What happened to Doris that he came off? Early on foot injury. So I'm hoping it's nothing too serious, because or else then that's the last player that we want to see out of a Irish kit for July. But yeah, it seemed like something that they weren't willing to take the risk of him hurting it more, which makes you think that it must have been relatively serious with how early it was in the game. But Conan came on and scored a try and has been very solid outside of that. We see Sheehan's now on. Clarkson's on the field too for this Leinster team. Some pretty handy players have made their way off your bench. Yes, lads, it was always a big task to beat Leinster at home. Not able to watch the game, but I'm guessing according to the South African fans, they are only losing because of the referee. Says Mountains of Asylum. Going away to the left-hand side position at the moment for Eldrick Lowe. Now Pollard. He tries to run. Gives him park. Gets him down onto the turf. The short ball there to Marcel Kutz. Yellow Hamish says Regan, welcome in. Penalty is awarded to the Bulls. That is for side entry and the breakdown from Leinster. And got a feel for Doris injuries, kept him out of the last 2 Lions tours, says Dean. Yeah, he just seems to pick them up at the worst possible times, doesn't he, in terms of his injury count? It looks like Oh, wait a minute. Penalty goes the way of Leinster. I swear that the referee had his arm up for the Bulls there. But then, yeah, Leinster actually ended up with this penalty. I need to finish higher than Leinster. You need home advantage to have any chance of winning the URC, says Pat Andy. Usanov now makes his way onto the field. That is for Kahir, so that is the last front row replacement. South African team's good at home but don't travel well, says Mark. But Kahir, he's put in a solid shift today. Needed to as well in terms of those scrums. Just the work and the breakdowns as well. He's done a lot of clean-outs throughout that first half. Ball almost stolen by Ruanokia, and it's knocked on by Leinster. Does mean that the Bulls are going to have themselves the scrum. What people don't understand is the Bulls are still experiencing massive jet lag, and we simply can't expect the Bulls to be at their best here, says Xander. While the ball box are getting castrated, says Mr. Julian. 30 minutes left. They need a point a minute here to be able to go on to win this one. Why are there Super Rugby fans in the chat? The hatred of South Africans is strange. I think it's the same with when Super Rugby streams we're doing with the ones who hate Super Rugby now too. It kind of just happens like no matter what. It just seems to be like no matter what game you cover around the world, there will be someone who doesn't like the competition you're covering. It's like internationals. There's always going to be someone who doesn't like a team that you're covering as well, or a player or anything like that. And Baraz Papier, going across there to Johan Robela. Now, Papier again is going to go for the box kick. Now up to the halfway line, James Lowe slaps it back, gets ahead of Kutliarense in the air. I'm not watching any more of this stuff, says Haino. I also wouldn't blame you, Haino, if you don't want to come on after the game. But, of course, do let me know so that I know whether I end straight after or whether I stick around a little bit longer. Kind of moody, hustling to get that ball back. He's tackled by Ringrose. The Bulls currently sitting only about 35 metres out from their line. Is it okay to be a Super Rugby and URC fan / viewer? I think so. But some people say that you're only allowed to watch the competition they like, and if you watch any other ones, then they don't like you. But like at the end of the day, like I said, it's like food, isn't it? How you got the different types, you got different cuisines, different competitions around the world of rugby, and you can like more than one. Now back across to the right. The ball's now Moody. Moves it on to Arinsa. Chance down the wing. He steps on the inside and lined up early by Dan Sheehan. Oh, that's going to be an advantage there. Due to Leinster rushing up. Pollard gets the offload away to Honeycomb. There is now the advantage over. That must not have been for offside there. Now Marcel Kutsia. He's got 3 men with him. Strafino Jacobs bumps off. Jameson gives him back. This is the best chance of the half for the Bulls. Moody on the short side. That is a brilliant textbook tackle from Rieko Ioane. That's also accidental offside. So it will be the penalty awarded in favour of the Bulls 5 metres out from the line. Whoever they are, all South African fans, they're losers, or is it just a Bulls thing? Says Ross. AUIC is a rubbish comp anyway. Top 14 in Premiership are much better. Says Haino. Okay, so I think that Villy LaRue was just saying that they need to check that to see if it was cynical from Rieko Ioane. And those are losing the aerial battle, not winning collisions, ton of knock-ons, losing line-outs, and their scrum is being nullified. Basically, they are losing everywhere, says Kreisen. And 38-3 to lose at 38 minutes. So that one's even more one-sided than this one. And we have got their also offside, says Johan. Well, that's what the penalty was for, yeah. Johan Krobala now. Another advantage. That one, I think there's only a knock-on advantage, though, rather than a penalty advantage. Now, that one's dropped again. So it is going to be going back for the initial advantage in their favour. Ruan Vermaak, his hands have let him down today. There was a knock on by Leinster. Origo lying offside. Daggle yellow card ref. I don't think it was as cynical as it seemed. I think he made a low textbook tackle and then had to try and, he was probably a little bit slow to be fair, but he also didn't see the ball hit him. He was actually facing the other way. So I can understand why it was just a penalty rather than anything more. The South Africans have made the URC stronger. You will have your day off, you will have your day, keep building. Says Pat Andy. But now Stennekamp, Vermaak, Klopper. 3 Bulls who are making their way from the field. The replacements for them will be Jan Hendrik Wessels, Wilco Lowe, and Jandre Rudolph. Didn't I say Rico like McCaw in this comp? Will the fresh crop make an impact, says Jason. Oh, hang on. They're checking a deliberate knock-on from Leinster. The referee and TMO have decided that there could have been something here. This may end up turning into a yellow card for the Leinsterman in this case. And please, says Johan. Right, we're going to see it now. Yeah, so it's for the Dan Sheehan one. Oh, he took a head knock too in the process from Klopper, but they've said that because there's no line break, it's just a penalty. But at the same time, it probably stopped the potential line break because of... Okay. So it's going to be the penalty to the Bulls. The commentator was trying to say that they should check the head contact, but I think it was just one of those ones that just happened in the spur of the moment. Correct call, no way that's card. Says Studs Razor, good luck with that comeback game. I was over at halftime, says off bricks. And now we see Visa, he is on. I think the Bulls have just got Marco van Staden. He hasn't made his way on yet. Johan Grobbelaar's still out there. And then Zach Berger, Nassim Carr, Stedman Khans. The other ones who are there. Oh, and that's a penalty going the way of the Bulls at scrum time. It's going to be for hinging on the far side. This is where they need a try. Right, scrum called again. I think the Bulls have decided that their best situation here is to keep on scrummaging and eventually get Leinster a man sent to the bin. Just keep on applying that pressure. Ambros Papier. This is where he needs a big moment. The moment the score became one-sided seems to be the moment the snide comments come out. Why? Pity bickering. If you're going to banter, make it something that is clever. Says Mark there, not to complain about the ref down 30. Says off bricks. Now the big scrum again here, but this time it does just hold strong enough. Marcel Kurtzia, couple meters short, dragged down by Jack Kona. Pick and go for Foster. He's over the line, and the Bulls have scored. No, the referee's called it as held up. No, he needs that one checked because he got that ball down out on Foster. He is saying to the referee, please just go upstairs for it because that was clearly grounded on the far side, away from the referee. I don't think the Bulls can still win this game, or is it all over? Well, they've got their first try now here, which is a good start. The referee's first reaction was no try, but on this near side, I'm sure that Foster's got that one down. Unless, of course, the eyes are playing tricks on me. So referee Piatti there, has said, I've decided to check it because you told me you scored it. We will watch it together. Right. They need it from this angle. Here it is. Boom, on the line there. That looks like that is down for Harold Foster. I know the players can change the outcome. None want to lose. Use the tools they've got to gain something. He lost impartiality there. Like me, you so wanted the Bulls to score just for the interest of the game, says Mark. Well, it's also, I saw a grounding. So I feel like even if it was the other way around, I would have said that it should have still been checked anyway. On the evidence that they've just seen, no try held up. But the ball was on the line. It was grounded. So normally that's a try, but I guess we play on. It's going to be a knock on as well against the Bulls. Wait, was that not a try? Apparently not. Apparently there was no clear signs of a grounding. And well, we clearly saw it grounded on the line, says Albert. And also we have their try unlucky, or no try unlucky. It was luckily I'm a Stormers fan, says Michael. Oh, the sun's coming out. Well, that's nice. It was drizzling and raining and all sorts throughout the early stage of this half, and now sun's shining in the distance. That wasn't the best call though, was it? And come on, tell us again about the ref, says Paul. That was a try, lad, says Pat Andy. But now, oh, there's a rainbow too. That's nice. Trying to find the positives after that decision was made. That one's collapsing again. Okay, both men getting called over now. That is Thomas Clarkson and Jan Hendrik Vessels. And coming the Bulls, whinging Bulls supporters blaming the ref and being outclassed all over the pitch, says Barry. And also, whoever the ref just wants to humiliate the Bulls. At this point, I'll be glad if the Bulls get 3 points in this game so that they don't go scoreless. Yeah, have we had a URC side go scoreless in a final? I don't think we have, right? The Bulls says Big Rig. Oh, no, it's back raining now. The sun disappeared after a very short amount of time. Now Gibson Park putting the ball in again, going away to the left-hand side. Jamie Osborne linking up with Sam Prendergast as Ioane on his outside. Hugo Keenan now looking for the 50-22. Didn't quite connect with it. Now Vili LaRue. Kaden Moody going for the chip in behind. He's managed to retain it with the offload to Cobus Visa as well. And also we have got... Oh. Is that going to be a yellow card for James Lowe? He says that he got 2 hands to it, but they are going to be checking this one too. Well done on the South African pronunciations. Much better than Grant Nisbet, says Clem. Okay, there is an overlap there. So this is sounding like it could be a yellow card if James Lowe only gets 1 hand to it. I blame the shirt and ties, says the real pie man. Do you think if I take the tie off, the Bulls will score? Should we test it? We'll see what happens. Cobus Visa is massive. He's a big boy. Promise Zebre would have done better than the Bulls, both score and entertainment-wise. Right, seeing the replay now. No, he only gets 1 hand to that, James Lowe. I think that's going to be a yellow card here. And the Bulls have lost. Will smoke a joint after this horrible performance and give it the TMO, says Pat Andy. Right, tie's coming off. We'll see if this helps. Although, to be fair, they're playing up against 14 men now, so it probably will because they've got a man advantage. Match fixing even in rugby. CSG Mans. Blue ball, come on the Bulls. You got this. You men played so good. CSG Jana. The ball now Banged in the touch by Andre Pollard. They'll be about 35 metres out from the line. And the thing is, they need 5 tries. You know, they need 4 and something. But realistically, 5 tries in 22 minutes. If they score twice during this time, it may not be enough. I just like this informality from you, Hamish. Says Studs Race. Yeah. Go back to the hoodie for Super Rugby, you think? Keep taking clothes off. I bet they'll score. If you sat there naked, the Bulls won't score because the ref has decided they can't. Now the ball is in the hands of Kurt Learnse. He's breaking down the wing with a step on the inside. Moves up to 25 metres out, and Bros Papier going away to the left now. And Papier again. They've got like 10 men on the left-hand side here, the Bulls. They have not got too many. Uh-oh, turn over there again for Leinster, and this time it is Joe McCarthy. He did say he would take off the tie before the yellow, so even the threat may have been enough. They've lost it again. Just a lack of ball security in the breakdown, and Joe McCarthy. It was about his probably 3rd steal in the breakdown at the moment. Now Sam Prendergast will just look to get this one into touch again. Hugh Blenheim would keep the tie on. Hamish got the strip now. That's the ties as much as we're taking off here. They haven't, like, the shirt's the only thing on the top half now. High tackle, says Johan. And where the hell is Pollard? Yeah. He hasn't had his strongest showing, Pollard. Although I think that a lot of Bulls fall into that category. I would say at the moment, first half, Cameron Honeycomb was solid. Second half and first half, I think Stravino Jacobs has been the pick of the backs. And he's normally one who gets a lot of critique. The tie is an interesting technical decision. Says Mark there. Oh, no, another knock on from the Bulls, although they do get themselves the penalty. That was almost a big line break chance there. The scoreless result is Jackson and Ava written all over it, and score please Bulls, says Runaway Brides. Yeah, they've got 19 and a half minutes to get that try. Andre Pollard kicks it into touch. Into the final quarter of this final. Still 29-0 the way that the scoreline sits. But yeah, it was just another drop ball from Cobus Visa. Where are you based that you can see and we can't? Says Clem. So I am in New Zealand watching on URC TV. 7 minutes remaining of that James Lowe yellow card. We need a tactical substitute, bring on a fresh tie. And Pollard must go poles to get at least 3, says Ben. I think at this stage for the Bulls, it's just keep on going and hope for the best. Nokia is my favourite South African player, but he's had a rough day too, says Suds Race. I can still argue the ref has no influence, says Johan. Oh, what's happened here? Oh. Okay, there was a bit of a miscommunication there in terms of the numbers in the line-out. And where the hell is Papier? He's been a little bit the same, you know. You look at him in some of those other games, the way that he just finds a gap next to those breakdowns. He hasn't had that opportunity up against Leinster. They've been able to shut him down nicely, but this rolling maul now for the Bulls. They've got 18 minutes left to score 5 times to try and get themselves a URC title. Kanan Moody goes over and scores the tries for the Bulls. I think he needed that one for his confidence too. He's had a much better second 40, so obviously got a little bit of a telling off at halftime. He scores the lone try currently for this Bulls side. We're very likely to be more points in the first half of tomorrow's Super Rugby final. Yes, there's Runaway Brides in there too, and Moody gets a quantum of redemption. Yeah, he's done everything right this second half, Caden Moody. So maybe there was something said at halftime. Maybe the coach said, listen, you're out there in sleep mode. We need to get you in full throttle and hope for the best. But that one has gone over. And that makes the score now 29-7. Still in favour of Leinster, but the scoreline slightly closer here. Now the ref about to check it and call it a knock on, says Jason. That's a good finish from Moody, getting through the tackle. Oh, Van der Flair. That was a bad performance for a grand final, says S8. And to be fair, it should be 29-14. See, I do agree there. I think that it could have been a lot closer had that try that was recently disallowed given. which would still realistically mean that they'd need at least 3 converted tries still to come. One's going to be kicked off by Sam Prendergast. Nice take there from Janre Rudolph. By Ioane. Now Papia must score 2. He has just touched the ball there, Papia. I don't think they'll be a mile away from getting Zach Berger out, but I don't know whether or not that will be for Papia or whether they will have a bit of a reshuffle. Oh, that's dirty from McCarthy. He's actually chopped the knee down. Looking for the cross kick there. It's come off the hand of Gibson Park. Let's go into touch. Okay, now I see your slim Slipper, Hamish. Yeah, he looks quite similar to Slipper, doesn't he? All right, Pollard's starting to talk a little bit more now from that 10 jersey. I don't think the Bulls have completely given up here yet. I think that they have had that realisation that they've got a man advantage for the next 4 minutes, and if they can get a line break or 2, potentially turn this one around just that little bit more. Now thrown in, Ruan Nokia. Now back across, Papier. Moves it across to Foster. How effective is Honeycomb in the second half? I haven't seen him a lot. Oh, bit of a slip there for Rico Ioane. Here comes Stedman Hans. Oh no, he's thrown the ball straight into Ioane's hands. It's been kneed in the face by his teammate on the ground. The Bulls, it almost looked like a Stedman Hans line break and a half up until giving the ball away. I wish I buttoned just one button for now. Says Xander. Now rolling it back again, and Gibson Park, I should say. We'll just go back to the aerial challenge. Moody knocks it on, and it's back in the hands of Usanov. Now 40 metres out. Leinster in possession. They have scored 1 try in the second half. That was early on from Sam Prendergast. Outside of that, it is still sitting 7-7 scoreline-wise for the second 40, so it has certainly been the Bulls' better half. Sam Prendergast again looking for the kick in behind. Awkward bouncing one. Billy LaRue close to the sideline. Kicks it back infield rather than looking for touch, although that ball now starting to turn towards the sideline. Gibson Park claims it inside of his 22. And he decides to go inland with the kick as well. And then Galbert says it's under. Time to lock in, Bulls. Let's get him. Now chipping behind. Giving it straight back, though, into the hands of Leinster, although the Bulls in there break down. Stedman Khan's told to get out of it. Can you gauge how precise Leinster have been? Looks back to, I still look back to 6-0. They've had a pretty clinical game as a whole here, Leinster. They've had maybe 1 or 2 mistakes when it came to the attack. The one that pops to mind is when Hugo Keenan decided to try and sell the dummy rather than passing on the outside, and then also when they were held up just short. That is a brilliant low tackle made by Gary Ringrose on Hans. They did decide to take the quick tap after winning the penalty there, the Bulls. To get out of the breakdown for Clarkson. Now inside ball to Stedman Hans, offload to Ambrose Papier, 2-man tackle, and spring him back up was Max Dagan. Now Billy LaRue looking to play territory. And nice kick and a touch from Prendergast. Billy LaRue takes it quickly. So they lost about 30 metres in the process. There's one player down at the moment. Looked like it was Eldrick Lowe with a bit of a leg injury, but they're going to continue playing on. Now the Bulls, here comes Marco Fun started, and he sits down Gary Ringrose, who looks like he's a little bit injured. So currently Leinster have 14 playing. Moody looks for the miracle offload, gets it to Jan Hendrik Vessels. Now Ruan Nokia, he scores the try. And the Bulls, they've left it pretty late, but they've started scoring tries now. And kicked it well in front. And also we have this, so technically the Storm is better than the Bulls against Leinster, says Albert. Maybe, but they also weren't in a final. And this game's not over. Still another 12 and a half minutes remaining. Still another 30 seconds remaining of James Lowe's yellow card. If you're strategic and you're the Bulls, you kick this one as quickly as you can. Although I don't think they'll be that aware of how long's remaining on the yellow card. But they also can't really waste any seconds in this contest. They are starting to find their rhythm. The bench has made the impact, and Ruan Nokia runs in another try for his URC season. Oh, hang on. TMO, what we got now? Kane and Moody offload. They're checking to see if it was a full pass. It did definitely look flat. Don't check that pass. We're on here. CS Studs race. Two old, slow, unathletic teams going head to head. Haha. See Sports Unfiltered. We're going to see the replay now from the wide angle. Oh, okay. No, they've found it now. Right. I don't mind that one, to be fair, because he's tried to flick it backwards. You know, it's got a bit of that going. But knowing how it's gone at times, no, that angle looks worse. But was also falling forward. See, the intention was to throw it backwards. It's just whether or not they're going to rule it as that. Oh, dear heavens, this referee is seriously too much. Yeah, this one was his TMO. The one who I'd never heard of. Okay, so they're going to give it as no try. From the angle that they were able to find, they have ruled it as that angle looks forward. The other one didn't look too bad, but this angle did. So it becomes no try for Ruanokia. There it is flat, says Ano, and it's flat play on, guys, says Johnny Blaze. 12 seconds remaining of the James Lowe yellow card now. Facial expressions in the last 3 minutes have been very entertaining, says Mark. Yeah, it's actually going to be a scrum feed to Leinster here too because of it. It's too good for this comp. Ivy refs tonight's World Champion Club Rugby final against the Hurricanes and the Chiefs. Rolled to 2 tries, hashtag just saying, says Hano. Yeah, just showing at the moment. Prendergast has made his way off the field. Harry Byrne has made his way on. We have got there 2 disallowed tries that even the Irish commentators say should have been given. Think on it. And also, I know under the game was decided before the game even began. Now going away to the right. Ringrose. Looks like he has recovered from that shot that he took from Maka van Staren, rolling it on to Willy LaRue. And Bros Papier has been taken off the field now, and that is for Zach Berger. Kurt Liarense chipping it in behind. Grubbers it forward again. Loose ball picked up by Byrne. Seems like at the moment, Leinster have gone into their shell a little bit. They're happy enough going with just 1 or 2 phases and then going for the box kick. It's using up every second. As we have more seconds passing, we get closer to that full-time siren. Who chooses the camera angle to use? I think the TMO does. But then they found a camera angle of the try being scored that they didn't give for the Bulls. So surely that, yeah, I don't know. That one's going to be kicked behind. That's a brilliant kick from Gibson Park as well. Just chucked it into touch, or not chucked it, but kicked it into touch off the grubber. Wasn't even trying to appeal this match. I don't think they'd get far with it, though, to be fair. James Lowe trying to fire up the crowd a little bit as he has made his way back out onto the field. We also do see Mangan makes his way on. And not long to go. Hit the thumbs up, you lot, says Eric. Oh, I should actually update my score, shouldn't I? There we go. Oh, hang on. How do I fix this? There we go. I hear so much complaining in the chat. People don't realise Bulls are playing bad. There has been 100% fair this match. Says Ant Plays. I don't know about fair, but I do agree about the fact that the Bulls have not been at their best at all for this matchup. They've had far too many handling errors, and it just has been costing them. Tactically, they were all over the place in the first half as well. Gibson Park again with the ball here for Leinster. Those last 10 minutes with Leinster, says Jimbo. Yeah, so he'll definitely be glad that he got his yellow earlier rather than like leaving the field for the final moments. That one's going to be a tough one to take under the high ball. Really nicely claimed by Willy LaRue, and it's called as the mark. Quick tap taken by LaRue off to Arense. Does kick it into touch. Seven Dry says, I am nutty. We have got there. I'm neutral before I'm accused of anything. Says Big Rig. What was that one? I agree. Bulls played bad in the first half, but it should be 29-21 right now, not 29-7, says Big Rig. And also, yes, the Bulls suck today. Don't deserve to win, and I'm a South African fan, says Albert. It sounded like one more change. It's being made. Nassim Carr making his way on for the Bulls. You can see frustration on his face even before he has had a moment in this game. Time has been turned back on. And Sheehan now with the line out. And some days are diamonds and some days are grass. Well done, Leinster with a blinky for now. Now rolling maul again now. Oh, Rua Nokia, he's been stood all over in the breakdown. He had his try disallowed only a few minutes away, or a few minutes ago. The Spanish wouldn't touch these Bulls, says I am nutty. And honestly, watching game and the scores technically should be even, says Nuno. Now Gibson Park. Again, the box. This has been the tactic for Leinster the last kind of 15 or so minutes. They haven't gone too aggressive, although this time they make some meters manging. No, in fact, that time it's Conan with the ball. Looking to get the steal and the breakdown. Almost had it Yandre Rudolph, but there's going to be the penalty advantage for leaving the feet. Oh, great hands from Deegan. Hanging on to it, showing off some silky handling. 3 meters out from the line now, all over Gibson Park, but it sits back up at James Ryan off the loose ball. Now back to the right again. Trying to move it on was Jamie Osborne. Couldn't get it away. Now it's going back now for the penalty advantage. This is a URC that everyone raves about. Low quality final. CS Sports Unfiltered. It's a serious Leinster team, but didn't show in the first half. Oh, where'd that go? Need to show better over the counter season and get home advantage. And also, Bulls look pretty ordinary there. How many box in the team, says Frank. It was mentioned about earlier on how many of these guys would make the box starting team. And I think probably about maybe 5. Anywhere between 4 and 6, I would say. But Gibson Parkey will make his way off. And that is going to be for McGrath. 257 appearances for that man. That's McGrath rather than Gibson Park. A big number. I already feel like I'm losing my voice. We've still got plenty of rugby on this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. We have got the game taking place between the 2 Super Rugby finalists, Chiefs versus Hurricanes. That one kicks off in about 10 hours. Well, a little bit later than that, about 11. And then also after that, we've got South Africa versus the Zimbabweans. And then Springboks versus Barbarians. Now, looking to get this rolling maul going. Seems like it's pretty stagnant at the moment. Hasn't got a huge amount of go forward. James Lowe having a bit of a wrestle there with Marco Fun starting. The ball's popped out the back again. And not much better than Jake White, sorry, Ackerman. Says Miami Rocker. How long left? Currently, we got another 6 minutes remaining in this contest. You got a girlfriend yet, Amish? No, I do not. Luke McGrath. Going away to the right. Take there for Deegan. Oh, that might be a steal. No, he's told to get out of it. Now Clarkson goes over the top of Cobus Vesa. McGrath, short ball to Osborne, who isn't shying away from contact. He's just had a huge amount of it from one of his teammates. Then Clarkson came flying in and hit him in the face. Now the 5 meters out again for Leinster. Last year in the final, they won 32-7 up against this Bulls side. Currently, they are 29-7 up. If they score now, it would be a bigger scoreline than the last one. Man, why do we even bother to try after the tight semi-final 2 weeks ago? Here's Pedro. And what other games on? So the Super Rugby final, then also Barbarians versus Box and South Africa versus Zimbabwe. They are our 3 other games that are taking place. And then on Monday, the All Black squad is going to be announced. So we'll be covering that one on the channel too. 10 metres still from the line here, Leinster. They're in no hurry whatsoever. You score 2 great tries to get chalked off. Are you going to kill your spirit and momentum, to be fair? Says Kreisen. Oh, big driving tackle from Jandre Rudolph. It can go from Cone and Marco van Staden. He's close to getting the ball there. And in fact, he should get the penalty. No, he's told to leave it alone once more. It looked like he was right in the action. Andre Rudolph with the clean out on Thomas Clarkson there too. Low quality bad ref, unfair TMO. Leinster win, says Ronnie. Now 4 minutes left. Van der Flair, he's put in a good solid 76 minutes so far. 4 tries for Leinster. Pick and go. On the side of the breakdown, they actually have 1 forward score for this Leinster team. That was Jack Conan. He's way off the bench earlier on due to that injury of Caelan Doris. Back across to the right again. I think they've got themselves the penalty advantage, or at least very close to getting one here for Leinster. 3 metres out. McGrath looks to the right. They're just going with the short pop passes at the moment. Harry Byrne uses some great power there to be able to drive over the line. And Leinster do get themselves those additional points. I blame the ref, says Jimbo. Well, I missed like 30 messages in a row there, I do see. But Leinster get themselves over for try number 5. This time it is Byrne. And Andre Pollard and Billy LaRue need to retire like Bowden Awful. See Sports Unfiltered. Stephen Hards, he was making the tackle on Byrne, but just continued to push over the line just like that. Great try, well deserved Leinster. See Studs Race. We have got Bulls are basically on the same level, and Leinster also on the same level as last year. So nothing changed. Another same year. Zimbabwe unbeaten in a year and a half. Well, South Africa will certainly be a good challenge for them then. Although a few handy players in that Zimbabwean side. Mavasiri, we've seen what that man's been able to do throughout the URC. Mafura's in there too, right? You have to be Eminem to repeat all the comments, says Mark. And the comeback is on, says the real pie man. But 78 minutes through this contest. And it looks like the rain's actually stopped now and it's sunny. Although this will be a good turnover for the Bulls in the breakdown with Jandre Rudolph. So they will get the last attacking chance. Berger takes the quick tap. Decided to just try and up the tempo again for the final 100 seconds of this game. Willie LaRue. Back across Ruan Nokia. Now crossfield kick. Taken out wide by Arinsa. Ball on the inside to Jandre Rudolph, who knocks it on. And then it's knocked on by Leinster too, so we'll go back for the scrum. But again, the line break from the Bulls. They do the hard work, and then the forwards are just dropping the ball way too often. It's about early in the game. We see you in 11 hours. Says Justin there too. The man of the match, Sam Prendergast. Good mark for next season World Cup. He's had a very solid half, or a very solid game in general. Sam Prendergast, he was involved in a couple of the early tries. They're just saying there about how 6 months ago there were questions about that man's game. And he's come out, got himself the second half early try. He's got on quite a few of his kicks over as well. And the ref made the Bulls knock the ball on. Oh, free kick goes the way of the Bulls, so they will have the final chance in the last 30 seconds. Now Marcel Kutsia, oh, almost a head collision between Clarkson and Uzanov. Hamish be brave should those tries have stood. Oh, nice spin from Moody towards the corner. He's wrestled into touch and a very good low tackle by Gary Ringrose, but it was almost chance for try number 2. Now 6 seconds remaining. All they need to do now is win this line out for the Leinstermen and then boot that ball out. Rico excellent again. Yeah, he's had a very solid game. Rico Ioane and the smile is now on the face of some of these Leinster players as they realise what has just happened. And also game should be 34-21. Says Big Rig, and URC has never had a final without a South African team, but in the same breath, the only team on the time a South African team won was when they had two in the final. Says Jason. And they kicked this ball out, Leinster, after winning the line-out. They are crowned the URC champions for 2025-26 season, back-to-back for the first time ever in the URC, and also the first time ever that we have had two trophies going to the same side, as every other year was won by other sides. Don't blame the ref, the Bulls hot pumped at Croke Park. And huge congrats, Leinster. And well-deserved win for Leinster. Many thanks. So the great commentary game says, John, thank you very much. And yeah, we are going to be back for the Super Rugby final that is happening just around the corner too, ladies and gentlemen. That one will be kicking off in around 10.5 hours' time. We will have a nice build-up for that. And then also alongside that game, we've got South Africa versus Zimbabwe. And then also South Africa versus the Barbarians. Hamish, you know what you just watched? Well, to go back to your thing about how should the tries have stood, I thought that Harold Foster scored that one. I thought that the full pass was definitely a debatable one that could have gone either way. So normally you go with the TMO's call there. But even if those two tries stood, they still would have, like someone said, lost this game 36-21. I'd love to see the handling error stat, because the amount of times that the Bulls had a chance to break the line, chucked it to one of their forwards who just straight out of their hands, dropped it on the ground and blew the opportunity, was probably more times than you can count on one hand. Love the commentary, very fair. Says Karen there. And thank you for the commentary. Sorry, Bulls. Says Runaway Brides. And we have got the great commentary. Hamish, don't think you're tied, or your tie caused the Bulls loss. Says Glenn Daly. And I was crazy that it was very hard to watch the URC final, trying to grow it. Thanks, Hamish. Says a rock and meat roll. And I'm worried that Pollard won't be the BMT player that we need next year. He lacks adaptability, as his mindset is very general-esque. He needs to develop his game beyond just the kicking. Very poor today. Yeah, I think that there were at least, I'm not going to name every player who did poorly, because I feel like that would be pretty rough. But I think that there were a few players who did step up for the Bulls. Stravino Jacobs, probably one of the better games we've seen from him in recent times. He seemed to have at least the right mindset going into this game. What's crowd size like? I don't actually know what they got in the end. It was expected to be between 37 and 40, someone said, in terms of the attendance. Please make me understand, do you agree with all the calls? Not all of them, but at the end of the day, no one is going to agree with 100% of the calls. Were they hard done by in a couple of the moments of this game? Absolutely. But should they have been able to find points elsewhere? Probably. You know, I think that unfortunately, similar to what we saw up against the Glasgow Warriors, the difference was they were able to get that comeback in the end for that Glasgow game. But the difference here was they just couldn't catch the ball. And the way that I look at it, that's normally something that you really want to have as your very first fundamental, is if you can hold on to a ball and not knock it on, you're going to do a lot better in a game of rugby. So, yeah, I think that they'll look at this game afterwards and go, we butchered that. And I think that Leinster will look at that game and go, you know what? We got that tactic pretty bloody good, because we shut down the way that the Bulls were playing and they just seemed rattled for the first 40 minutes. But we have got a guest, ladies and gentlemen, who is about to come on. And I will say, I see that he's hiding his Bulls kit. We will be nice, but we'll go like this. And we'll go, how do I do this actually? I'll go like that and like that. There you go. We've got you down in the corner. How's it going, Hano?
To be fair, I had a very good night. I had some ribs, briberies. So my night was good. So yeah, rugby wise, it's another one. Similar scoreline to last year. Doesn't make a difference. Those two tries, I don't know. At the end of the day, we lost the game in the first half like last year. First 20 minutes, we get two yellow cards in the first 20 minutes. in any game, that's just stupid. But in a final away against basically Ireland, that's just idiotic. And at this point, you can't even blame the coach or anything. This comes down to the players, and the players. Most of these players have played for 4 or 5 years. For us, you look Billy, 4 years. Curtly has been there since the beginning. Kanan been there since the beginning. Harold Foster almost been since the beginning. Only real new player that has come in like last two seasons was probably Cameron Hanekom, because he made his way through the team. Pollard, who else is there on the bench? Nisam Cole has been there now for a while. So no, it's awful from us, and doesn't matter if those decisions went away or not. I just don't think we would have won. So yeah, at least the good thing is on Super Brew I did say Leinster would win. So yeah.
You backed the other team over your side.
Imagine I said a Bulls win and then we lost like that.
How much did you back Leinster to win by the way?
Just by one.
Just by one.
Just
close one.
So yeah, like we've got 11 Springboks in the team, and none of them can get over like the mental thing of winning in the final.
Yeah.
And it could be a worry for like Springbok wise, because if you look at the only Springbok in our team, or Springboks in our team to win 2023 was, to be fair, we have a few. We have 4 players that were involved: Moody, Veli, Orange, Pollard. So that's 4. So yeah, no, just poor from us. Handling errors, I think we need to have a look at that. Let's have a look.
Well, it just seemed to be every time they almost got something going, they dropped the ball again. And that's been happening for a few weeks now for the Bulls, unfortunately. Rowan Vermaak, Rowan Nokia, Kobus Vesa, it's mainly the locks, isn't it, who just can't catch a ball to save themselves. And it actually kind of translated into the lineouts as well. That was the shakiest lineout we've seen for the Bulls in quite some time, getting put in all sorts of trouble under pressure. We see Artigas Neyman's actually there at the moment with the Leinstermen, alongside Rico Ioane, a couple of the internationals. But Ioane had a big game out there on the field for the Leinster boys. He's celebrating that one.
Rico been absolutely... He's been good this last 3 weeks. And I think ever since Leinster moved him into that 13 role, he's been flipping good. He's been good. And Champions Cup final, he was playing at 14, and they just didn't look in all sorts of trouble. But he's moving to that 13 position, and he's commanded that midfield. And I also think that's why Prendergast has looked so good as well, because he's just had a bit more experience next to him, and he's flourishing. So, and what a game Sam Prendergast has had. For all the stake he gets, especially from us South African fans, he had a great game, and I have to give it to him. I don't know, and he's now the first choice flyer for Ireland in the July series. With no Jack Crowley.
That chasing back as well, that big moment where it seemed like Stravino Jacobs or Kanan Moody could have got back and managed to break away to score the try. Like Prendergast came from a lot further back than they had to run. Just got across, stopped that one. There were multiple times where there was a big tackle. Ringrose was putting his body on the line near the end of the game, as he always does too. McCarthy, he was a menace in the breakdowns. Like Thuds Ray said, being able to get those steals at crucial times. But losing Doris early, there was half a second where there would have been a few nervous people around. But Jack Conan comes off the bench and just goes about his work. Somehow got a cut on his face within like a minute of being out there.
No, just
We've got there. This kid looks young enough to be Hamish's son, Papa Hammy. Says so. See, I don't know whether or not that's saying that you look very young or I look quite old. But we're only what six years
you
apart
do have
age-wise?
a full beard, so yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it a full one. It doesn't quite grow the way that I want it to. But is it Hamish's child? No, it's not my child. It's Haino.
No. So yeah, I want to get the stats for the handling errors.
They make it hard to find the handling error stats. I learned that one other game when I was trying to find it. And almost a great day for the Prendergast family, but sadly Orla ended up on the losing side. New Zealand beat them by 4 runs in the T20 World Cup. That's quite close, though, to be fair. It's a good effort from the Irish.
No.
And I think the camera setup helps because it makes Haino look 2 feet shorter than you. Says Big Rig. Yeah, I didn't have any other like preloaded loadout that would kind of work, so we just stuck him down in the corner. And Chiefs Mana says Octo Dad.
Smacked by Toulouse. Jeez.
Yeah, that scoreline didn't even sound like it was anywhere near close. But hopefully Chiefs Hurricanes going to be a little bit closer.
Yeah.
You've had 0 from 1 at the moment for your sides, but that just means that the Chiefs have to go out there and get the job done.
I might have to get a Chiefs jersey if they win. I might have to.
Okay. Only if they win.
Only if they win. If they lose, geez, no. No. Then I'm giving up on club rugby. Then I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna turn into you, Hamish. I'm just gonna be neutral.
It's nicer that way. You get to enjoy the games or not enjoy them depending on the calls and whatnot.
So we had 15 handling errors according to Super Small. Leinster had 11, but we had
which
15.
Still felt like a lot as well, didn't it? The 11 for them, but 15 hurts.
And half of the time, even if Leinster knock it on, we also knock it on again. So, I just think the sad thing for me is we're losing big players, like we're losing Kirtley, we're losing Ron, and who else is going? There's another guy going.
Well, I guess the thing is, though, could it be asked the question of, is that going to actually help them? Because don't get me wrong, those players were pivotal in terms of getting them there. I think Ruan Noki is going to be a bigger hit than Arinsa, which is controversial, but I just feel like Arinsa, since coming back from his injury, seems to have been in cruise control mode rather than full-on trying his absolute hardest. That's going to be a big hit.
That's going to be a massive loss. So we're just going to have to rebuild it. Rebuild, I wouldn't say rebuild the core, just add to the core. Because you've got, I don't know how long Marcel Coetzee is going, because that guy's almost getting to. Because how long is Veli and Marcel going to go on for as well? Because Marcel.
You've also got Nassim Carr as well.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah, Marcel is 35. John Ray is 32.
Nassim Carr's 35.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're going to need that next generation of young guys. Someone like a Cheswell Euster. I would have loved to see him play in this game. But I think he's injured at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think he's injured or probably just not fit enough. So yeah, choking at Crow Park. Croaking at at Croke Park. Yeah, we're 0-2 at Croke Park. Can we never play there again, please? Like, let's just play at the Viva, man, please. It's just at least when we play at the Viva, like I can say we're playing at Ireland. Croke Park is also Ireland. Jeez, I don't like that place.
Well, on that note, we won't punish you for any longer of having you have to talk about your side and how they did. But yeah, end result 36-7 in favour of the Leinstermen. Still more finals, and also the Boks are going to be in action. So the Brying doesn't stop now. Of course, there'll still be plenty more Bries fired up throughout the weekend. Seeing South Africa versus Zimbabwe there too. But yeah, nonetheless, we do thank you all very much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I know that this is still being broadcast on 2 channels, my channel, I'll say English almost, and then also Haynos. So be sure to hit subscribe over there too. And we will see you all for the next one.
Cheers, guys.